you home, country roads.
Pollo, pollo.
To the place you belong.
I'd rather go down to the Paradise City.
Where the girls are pretty.
Almost heaven.
Where the girls are green and... Wait.
West
West
Virginia. And the grass is itchy.
The girls are green!
Oh boy. Oh,
You
boy.
are my type!
Oh,
I love it when you randomly will run into like a super mutant that's just wearing a dress and they're just, like, they're just so pretty. They're just
Pissing all by yourself, handsome?
oh my god. Whoa.
Is it just canon now? Is it canon now that they all sound like Kirk?
They
do.
do.
They all sound that way. That is actually canon.
They got the same voice actor to be every super mutant, and it's fucking hilarious.
Not true.
God.
Sean Schemmel played one of them. He played
Whoa.
Strong, I think.
Oh well, the more
Did he
notable
play
ones,
Strong?
for the vast majority.
If I recall correctly, I remember that being a big point of people brought up during our Fallout 4 playthrough.
Really?
Huh.
I could be wrong. Maybe people were just gaslighting me. But I
Twitch chat, gaslighting
They
the
were-
streamer.
If they were gaslight, if they were
Always.
gatekeep gaslight girl bossing your stream,
Nobody can gaslight me. I'm ungaslightable.
it's because you're
Hi,
electric.
chat.
Boogie
Hi,
woogie
chat.
woogie.
Oh, hi, chat.
Hello, Austin.
Howdy, everybody. And hello, Austin. We're here for more
Hello.
Gateway. It's gonna be
The
crazy.
latest sensation that's sweeping the nation.
The #1 show on twitch.tv/theunexpectables on Saturday nights, as long as they aren't running a seasonal event.
That is true.
Hey, Gobtober's pretty great.
Look, Gobtober is pretty great.
I might be biased also, on both fronts.
I'll be damned. It is Sean Schimmel.
Aha! I knew it.
Oh, good for him.
He still sounds just like a super mutant, so it's like, you know.
Although I couldn't tell it was him, which is crazy.
It's him doing a different voice.
Strong, drink milk of human kindness, become biggest strong. Indeed. But yes, welcome to Gateway, everybody. Let's go around the horn and introduce ourselves, starting with Caitlin. Where can they find you, and what are you up to?
Well, hi. Hey, hello. My name is Caitlin Elizabeth. You can find me all over the internet at Boobs McBalrog. Here on Twitch, it is twitch.tv/Boobs McBalrog with zeros instead of O's. I'm streaming on Fridays with Shark Squad. We're doing some Sea of Thieves again, which has been nice. And I'm getting back into Power Wash Simulator with Julia, which has also been very pleasant. I think soonish I'm going to dip into RE4 Remake, but I don't know when. I have to build up the courage for that. But we'll get there one day.
It's okay, you just have to fight the spaghetti man.
You'll be fine.
I'm not gonna.
Oh, what a fun spaghetti man.
Oh boy. But also we have Ties the Bind on Monday over at twitch.tv/Lanny Pator
So
with
long as Frank and PC holds up.
it's true. With Connor and Shadow Dancer Bob and Takahata 101. We're gonna have a festival and it's gonna go really swell and nothing's gonna happen that's bad.
Exactly.
There's only,
I'm
a mind,
sure.
there's only a mind reader in the crowd and a cabal of people that set up an assassination against a foreign dignitary. What could go wrong?
I didn't even think about that. Thank you for telling me.
No problem.
That's me.
Indeed. It's okay because we know about it and we planned for it.
Yeah, totally.
Just don't let them get near the royals.
They'll never be
That'll be
royals.
Easy.
They can call me Queen Bee. Rabbit, where can they find you, and what are you up to?
Oh, hi. Yes, hello. Perceive me. My name is Rabbit. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at Hey Mr. Rabbit. Not a whole lot going on. I'm looking at cleaning my apartment. Finally got the tools I need thanks to viewers like you. That's a WVIZ reference. I'm almost ready. Let's see. In today's exciting episode of things that happened to me today, I went to go ahead and trim my beard because I looked squirrely, and I turned it on, and it fizzled, and my clipper died.
Oh.
Ah.
Fun.
Woo!
So I've been looking at getting new clippers. I might get Manscaped, honestly, because I guess they make really good clippers. Maybe.
Pretty good.
All right, cool. I might do
Can't
that.
speak from experience, but once they sponsor me, I'll let you know.
They sponsored me
cool.
before.
Was their hedge trimmer as good as they said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Solid.
Fancy.
Solid hedge trimmer.
Well, that being said, that's pretty much what's going on with me. If I'm a variety streamer by trade, and I also put in a lot of auditions, haven't got anything back. But you know what they say: you set out a lot of fishing poles, at least one's gonna nibble. So that being said, what do I do for variety streaming? I stream horror games, RPGs, retro games, and indie games mostly. So if that's something you want to get into, just come on to twitch.tv/HeyMrRabbit, where I stream throughout the week, and that is me.
Right on. Just keep those trimmers away from me.
Oh, I will.
Why?
I will.
Because my
you
beard is a
like
force
my
of
beard?
nature.
Well, doesn't that
You
mean
don't
that
touch the
it would just
beard.
die anyway?
It's
Since
true.
It's a force of nature.
It'll
Yes.
just
Die on the spot.
explode. Just like
Yeah. Anyway.
anyway.
Indeed. Lanny, where can they find you and what are you up to?
Me? Why, they can find me all over the internet at Lanny Pator, except on Instagram, where it's Lan1gram. I just finished Jedi Fallen Order today for the second time. I keep forgetting how goddamn hard that last boss is. There's a massive difficulty spike on that final boss. Like, massive. But we got through. And now I'm ready for Jedi Survivor when that comes out in 12 days. Yes, I mistimed my playthrough. So I'm going to have to find some time, find something to fill that gap. And we'll figure that out. But on Monday, as Caitlin mentioned, we have a little campaign called The Ties That Binds. Caitlin, Connor, Shadow Dancer Bob, and Takahata 101 join in. And yes, it'll be a party. It's Reclamation Day, a day of unity for the lands of Silver Rock. All the foreign dignitaries have shown up, including the Draconic Royals, who may or may not have sent a platoon of assassins to kill the leader in the north, who also sent some dignitaries after surviving said attempts, and one of them can read minds. It'll be a good time, surely. No problems. It'll be a fun time. 5 o'clock Central Time on Monday. And tune in tomorrow, and I'll probably be playing a game or just chatting with people. Who knows? Taxes are here, which means I need distractions. And Twitch is a good distraction. I like hanging out with people and chatting. It's a good time. That's me.
Right on. Sarah, where can they find you? What are you up to?
I'm on Twitter and YouTube at Sarah with an H and with an E Willia. I got nothing. I'm just trying to get my taxes done too.
Tax time, baby!
I will get them done, and I will take that hit, and then I'll feel better because it will be over. Yay! Yeah.
It comes for us all, paisano.
Death and taxes.
Just otherwise, stream with Rabbit on Thursdays. Yay!
Yay!
I got nothing. I got
Fair
nothing,
enough.
honestly, and just like whatever. I don't
Fair
know.
enough. Well, I suppose that would leave only me, and they can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.com/DistortionDevil. I stream Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Tomorrow we're going to be playing some more Deus Ex. I didn't explode this time, so we're... I actually forget where we are now. We're not in France anymore. I don't remember. Anyway, that's happening. Also, we're in Subquest City now. We're in Judgment, where we're just basically going through all the subquests, and I guess we're doing that before we move on to Yakuza 7.
Are you excited for Yakuza 7?
I am equal parts excited and terrified.
That was kind of my like my grab about it too.
Indeed. Oh boy, it's a new Yakuza game. Oh no, boy, it's a JRPG.
Well, I was excited about that, but, you know, that's just me.
I bet you were.
I was happy as a clam.
Well, you know what makes me happy as a clam is Die Hard Dice. That's right.
Die Hard Dice.
That's right. Die Hard Dice is your one-stop shop for dice and dice accessories. And if you head on over to dieharddice.com, you can use the code UNEXPECTABLES to save 10% on your order. As well, you can now purchase our official Unexpectables dice, the Lies Aspect dice, a beautiful porcelain white dice with lovely navy blue inking that's available right now. If you head on over to dieharddice.com, look up the Lies Aspect dice, the official collaboration with Die Hard Dice and the Unexpectables. With that, we've also got our store that's available right now. You can go ahead and pick up some shirts and some merch with some Unexpectables related logos, including the Sweet Dragon logo, the Avon's Cup logo, and brand new, the I Went to Easonvale and All I Did Was Die logo. You can order it right now.
Right now.
That's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
What a savings.
You can use it to cover your fleshy bits.
It's true. Especially useful for when you're in public. It's not just a good idea. It's the law in some places. But
It's a law in some place.
with that, we also couldn't have done this without people donating all their bits and subs. People such as Tiki the Troll, thank you for the 11 months. My first resub message after finally catching up on all things Unexpectables. I missed since 2020. So for now, for the first time, watch the most popular show on the Unexpectables. That's right, baby.
There you go.
Number one on Saturday.
Number one, baby!
Lord Archive, thank you for the 11 months. Zenlita, thank you for the 36 months, 3 years, baby. Bandito, thank you for the brand new sub. Dragosoon, thank you for the 100 bits. Hit those rads out of the park. Magic Ninjago, thank you for the 29 months. Hee-ho. Dragosoon, thank you for the additional 100 bits. Out of the park. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Pressure.
Lord Commissar Manslaughter, thank you for the 33 months. 33 months, what do I win? A super cool episode of Gateway, the Unexpectables #1 Saturday game.
That's amazing.
It is amazing, I agree.
It is amazing.
Robomom, thank you for the 100 bits. My birthday is on Monday, so have some bits. Well, happy early birthday, Robomom.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Magic Ninjago, thank you for the 100 bits. Scree Squad!
That's me.
The Talbs, thank you for the 37 months at Tier 2. Number grow up. It's true. I like that funny number. IDC Witch, thank you for the 100 bits. You guys got this. Just ignore the robot man behind the curtain. And teehee. And finally, IDC Witch, thank you for the 5 bits. Poyo. Poyo in Doyoed.
Poyo.
But
Yeah.
yeah. But with that, I hope you guys are ready to get into tonight's episode of Gateway.
Wait.
Ready as I'm gonna. Oh.
Now I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
See you,
Gotta put
chat.
my voice on.
Oh, goodbye, chat. Be good.
Goodbye,
Don't
chat.
do crime.
When last we left the runaways, Apex the Wildman, Alvin the Mechanic, Louise the Scavenger, and Cynthia the Nurse, they continued to discuss their situation with Dr. Howell, the synth scientist who once worked for the Institute. He revealed his designs for the future, a world populated with beings who can not only survive the nuclear wasteland, but thrive in it. Parting with our wastelanders on good terms? Dave elected to stay behind in the Science Center to learn more about Dr. Howe's plans and intents. After saying their goodbyes, they headed to Riverside in order to take a boat ride on their riverboat, sailing down the Missouri River and winding up at Vault 66, colloquially referred to as Vault Town. After greeting the guards, they headed into the shanty town. What wacky shenanigans await them? Find out now on tonight's episode of Gateway.
Is anyone else concerned with the way the announcer said good terms?
Nah, I'm
What are
pretty sure
you
it's all right.
talking about?
Huh?
Oh, shit.
Apex
You're in
looks,
the-
Apex looks back from the forest.
Shit, I thought I was the only one who heard that guy.
Maybe it's a human thing.
Just Chris looking back and forth between us again, just like, we have to do this every time.
And with
Miss this.
that, you strut into the town known as Vault Town, built around this very, very old fort. You see a bunch of tents that look like they were slapped together with wood and scrap metal. Some other smaller buildings look to be just tents that were made with tarps. Not a terribly huge town, but it's still a pretty good civilization. It's about about half the size of Riverside, at least on this outside.
What kind of a community are they? Are they like a bartering community? Like, is there like a bazaar out here, or?
You do actually, as you get closer into the town, you see a number of what look to be home or look to be handmade buildings. You see what looks to be a bar, a general store, a couple of other what would I call them?
Like trade shops?
Yeah, just
Dollar stores.
things that look sturdy but
yeah,
slapped
can't-
together.
Gotcha. Like just using like tin siding and like creating 4 walls and a doorway kind of deal.
Exactly. There is a little bit of bustle, but it doesn't look. Most of the people here appear to be dressed in. You see some people that are dressed in what you would consider normal clothes, and then a lot of others are dressed in vault suits.
As per the usual, am I getting the requisite "what the fuck is that" looks?
You're getting a couple of glances, but you don't get any looks that are like, "Ugh, what the hell is that?"
Okay, so this place is fairly well traveled, and they get their fair share of wasteland weirdos.
You could garner that from just the general expressions. People don't shirk away at you or anything like that.
Okay. I just keep my head on a swivel for. Actually, no. Right now, he's mostly distracted with the distance.
Mm-hmm. Well, Chris will lead you all further into the town. So, what are you here for? I wasn't expecting a visit, much less from the back entrance. I didn't even know it was really an entrance, seeing as how it's the river and all.
Back entrance. Oh, sorry. Anyway.
Could you...
Come on, you set that up for me so perfectly. Anyway, Louise sort of scratches the back of her head. Just thought I had to come by and say hi. It's got this thing. It's like, oh, God, she's going to be so mad at me. She's not going to like this.
Well, Hi. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're back. Although I assume you're not staying.
Nah, you're not gonna like it.
She just sort of tilts her head and crosses her arms in front of her chest. Okay. We'll just rip it off now.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Let's see. Okay. We gotta go above game, Connor. Where is it again? Illinois?
Yeah, you have to go to a vault in Illinois.
Oh, okay. Rip off the band-aid, huh? We gotta go to a vault in Illinois and kill a bunch of super mutants and bring back the codes.
Could you slow that down and give it to me one more time?
Vault, Illinois, gotta go. Populated by super mutants. Yeah.
You're... Okay, and I thought...
Yeah, sort of thought I should give you a heads up on that, so, you know, because, good sister slaps a fist to her chest and sort of coughs weakly.
Yeah. So what are you saying, goodbye?
No, God, no. I'm just, just letting you know so you don't worry if you called over to Riverside or something, because it's not exactly a short trip.
Well, now I'm incredibly worried. Why are you going?
Because, archers.
Oh, of course the archers would fucking...
Looks to, his car is still driving.
Yes.
Okay, she looks to Cynthia for a second, then she's like, oh no. She looks to Alvin and Apex, she's like, guys, can you take a little of this for me, please?
That's not kind of the whole and parcel of it. Sure, that's one part. So we've been rolling around trying to find some stuff to go ahead and give us an advantage, and also we've been figuring out a bunch of other things that have been affecting us, like
Do you have any books on power armor?
Yeah,
that's one of the biggest things.
She
We
like
found,
tugs on Alvin, like, Earthshine, tell her about the power armor. Tell her.
Yeah, I got you, Starshine. I got you.
Thank you.
Yeah, found a suit of T-51 I'm working on spooling up. And working on the steel and whatnot's one thing. But I've never worked on it before. I've gotten clues on where to go, like, say, to the south and whatnot, but because that's where the Brotherhood apparently hold up at. But, that can be a whole muckety-muck too, considering, just what's been going on. Not to mention the oh god, they aren't a causeway. It's a Corsarian or something like. No, that's
Courser.
What is it? Courser? Yeah, there's a Courser too. So I'm looking at anything that might be able to short out machinery. I heard about pulse stuff, but I've never used it before. I was hoping I might be able to trade with you guys, maybe help out a little bit, maybe earn my keep if you have any pulse stuff laying around. There's a lot of shit, Chris.
Evidently, Earthshine.
Louise, when she hears her sister say that, she's just like,
She just gives you a very funny look.
And hey, we're not going in. We've upgraded a little bit. Like, she gets out her mini caster. It's like, check it out.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And
you didn't steal this, did you?
What? No, Cynthia gave it to me because she got a full-sized one.
We got
From
that
a dead
one off
body.
Yes, it was eaten by a bear.
Slaps her forehead. Oh my god.
Oh.
It's not what you think. He was already dead. Bear
Killed by
him.
a bear.
Yeah.
My bear.
No.
He owns a zoo now.
Yeah, he does.
I nod.
Kara stares
And
at
you
Chris.
you own a zoo and you tamed a yaoguai.
No, I just own the Yaoguai. Well, I don't actually own it, but it lives in my zoo.
I think it might be more of a mutual respect kind of thing at this point.
Tame is a strong word.
So it's just running free in your zoo.
Yes.
Okay.
Right now it's his zoo, but when I'm there, it's my zoo.
So
I couldn't count on any better security than that, to be honest with you.
let me see if I understand this right. You
That would be really impressive if he did, Chris, actually.
got coerced by the archers into going to a vault full of super mutants a state away.
So far, yeah.
You are currently... She's like counting on her fingers as well while she's doing this. You are being hunted currently by a thing that you call a courser?
She's being hunted. I point to Kara.
Kara waves.
Think of it like Kara here, but more
Think of it
combat
like it's a-
inclined.
Yeah, think of it like a Securicon on steroids. It also kind of looks like us.
It ran away from me.
I see.
We are miles away from that situation, though, so you all ain't got to worry about that one, no man.
Probably. We don't actually know where it is right now.
I'm trying to reassure her.
You are looking for pulse weaponry in order to deal with this. Am I
Right.
getting all of that?
Right. I figured that's a totem pole we can take out first. The T-51 over Riverside, I'm working on. That's a long form project, but I'm trying to gather as much information as I can about power armor. So,
Well, we could go check
Thumbs
out the
up
vault's
slowly.
libraries and see if they have anything about power armor. T-51, you said?
yeah, T-51.
Hmm.
That's what Bossman and I figured out what it was.
I think that
Looking
sounds...
badass.
If I remember right, that's
Cynthia,
pre-war,
no,
so maybe we've got something on that. I'm not entirely sure, but... Well... I'll
we can
look.
do-
I'll look into it for you. In the meantime, if you're
I'd appreciate that.
if you're wanting pulse weaponry, Lawrence down at the armory, he may have something for you, but that's not. Don't hold your breath.
I mean, I was saying
Yeah.
to them, what else we could have? We could scrap together something like, because unfortunately, this courser kind of knows how to turn invisible. So, I was saying to Alvin and Apex here, maybe something we could jerry rig that could, sort of be like a little grenade of sorts that, paints it with paint or something that sticks to it. So, invisibility don't do shit, right? Thumbs
Or
up.
just- Or just a smoke bomb, or a way to see heat.
Barring that, I was thinking about the environment. Anywhere out in the wasteland, nice and dusty, would probably work for it.
Do you have paint?
I've never heard of a paintball, but
We might. I'll check to see if we've got some paint as well. Other than that, is there anything else you need?
Purses her lips and thinks, good God, a lot of shit has happened since I saw you last, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Don't get mad. Don't get. I was.
Well, I'm struggling
honest.
to keep up with all of the trouble you get into.
I don't mean to do it. It just is a thing that tends to happen naturally to us. Looks like
I've
next to
noticed.
Alvin.
Alvin scratches the back of his head.
For God's sake, you all. Well,
Yeah, trust me. If it all ended with the family, I'd probably be back in Riverside, whatnot. But one thing leads to another, you know. Not to mention that big son bitch still on the loose somewhere.
Oh, yeah. I never trusted those archers. They don't come around here very often.
Did any of your people notice that giant walking this way? It came in this direction after it left.
That's right. Yeah, I did actually get some reports. Some of my people saw they almost called it like a moving mountain.
That sounds right.
It was shaking the ground with every footstep. We didn't really get a great look at it, but they sure as hell saw it.
Its feet were about 4 feet long. So,
They get a gander at which direction it went.
It was heading east, I think. Last I saw. Wait, no. Hang on. She looks down at her Pip-Boy. No, it was actually heading west last time I saw.
Wait,
back
west?
towards the arena.
Yeah, that's the direction it came from. Why is it going back?
It stopped and doubled back. That doesn't.
She just shrugs.
This is a weird fucking behemoth thing. Ah, fucking hell, man.
It bodes poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we haven't really seen much super mutants around here. Not for a good long while, actually. People tend to avoid super mutants, and
Yeah. I guess we've only had experience with one super mutant before, and well, he was actually pretty cordial considering.
should I be shocked anymore?
His name was Kirk. Come on, he was nice.
He had a
No,
cow named Pepper.
No, that was way back after we first escaped from the arena. That was a long while back.
Well, that's all I can tell you. It was walking down the road back west. In fact, I'll
look down at Apex. Patrolling, maybe?
Searching for something. It's intelligent.
Now that you mention it, it's weird that you guys didn't see it.
When was this, Chris? You saw it going west?
Well, I heard that we saw it moving east, and then we saw it moving west. It came this way, and then it came back. But we haven't heard anything from any of the nearby settlements or Riverside about anything like that.
I can't say for sure, Chris. We might have been down near the arch or at the zoo or whatever when that happened. That might be why we didn't spot it.
Well,
Haven't seen it at the Steel Co. or Earth City either.
And
Yeah,
nobody you
it's not
talked to in
this
Riverside saw it either? This was a couple days ago.
They would have mentioned.
Yeah.
They said it came back?
Hello, Cynthia.
Oh, hey, Cynthia.
Yeah,
Howdy, y'all.
you look back and her eyes are blue again. So it went past y'all and then doubled back?
It went down the road, and then a day passed, and it came back.
Oh shit.
But
We
no
sort
one
of
recalls having seen it.
We saw it, briefly. It was a bit further away than last time, but...
Louise kind of frowns at that. Maybe that means what it was looking for east, it found, and now it's gone back somewhere else, or there was something it was looking for but didn't find, and now it's going the other direction to search more.
Do you think it would have headed back to the arena?
Wouldn't the ghouls or even Big O maybe have let us know in that case then?
Not if it had those mind control powers.
And we don't really have a means of communication with the people in the arena. Not exactly friendly towards us. I killed
Here's
a
my
lot of their
line.
friends.
Thought.
We all killed a lot of their friends.
Mm.
Thumbs up to Chris.
If that creature could be held in some way, shape, or form in the arena, wouldn't it want to find out how it worked so it could break it? And it could never happen again? And also make sure that any, I don't know, technology might not be able to exist anymore if it crushed it?
I feel like if that was the case, it would have done it before it even left. Would have just done it on the way out, you know?
I don't know, if you were kept in captivity for somewhere for a long while, would you want to stick around?
I mean, that also... We'd also have to assume we know how this thing thinks. Ugh, complicated. Anyway, yeah, I think that's the long and short of it, Chris, at the moment. Give us another week. Maybe we'll find a nuclear bomb or something. That was a joke. Please laugh.
It's a hell of a time, Chris. I ain't gonna lie, but we are still carrying on.
Evidently. Ever-fucking-dently.
But at least it's been okay here. Derek says it's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, for the most part. Other than the ground rumbling when the giant green menace came rumbling through and then rumbling back. But, yeah.
Alright.
It's kind of deterred visitors a little bit, but, well, we're pretty isolated out here anyway.
But you got us, so yay.
Yay, indeed. You can spend all of those hard-earned adventurer caps helping shore up the town a little bit.
Oh, man. Chores, really?
Relax. I'm talking about giving some caps back. Buy a beer or something.
Oh, absolutely.
Visit
Go down-
the general store.
Oh, yeah, the double six.
Oh, like the vault.
Yeah, like the vault.
Yeah. It's clever, right? I guess I'll pop in and say hi to Daryl, too, and do some of his wares.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure he'd be happy to see you.
Yeah, I haven't said hi to Cece and Lily for a while, either. Well, you know. So, I guess, check out the library, check out the armory. Sure, we can look at some of the scrap stores and whatnot around here.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Katrina's running the shelter saloon. You can go by, grab a drink there. Like I said, Lawrence runs the armory. And if any of you are hurt, Isla is our town doctor, and she can try and patch you up. Or if you're irradiated or anything, she can squeeze it out of your system for a nominal fee.
Oh, I'll be damned. I am hurt.
Just looks at your sawed-off arm. How about that? I'll be.
Also looks at Apex.
One of the last things we did before I came here was fight a bear. So
Also looks at Apex and is just like, okay, Apex, even though we got people to deal with radiation, please don't eat that fish.
I spit up a tooth. Okay.
Well, if you need me, I'll be down in the vault talking to Jack.
All right,
Alrighty.
sounds good. Maybe I'll pop by home for a sec too, just to pick up a few things depending on how I'm feeling about it.
Sure, sure. You remember where your room is, right?
It's as if it's that difficult.
Well, you know how easy it is to get
Wait,
lost.
did you change something?
No.
Just because I've been gone doesn't mean you go change around my room.
Yeah, we haven't gotten enough visitors here to warrant touching your stuff.
That's right.
You just know how easy it is to get lost down there is all, right?
Yeah. Don't
Or
worry.
have you been away so long you forgot about what home is like?
Hey, I can remember just fine.
Uh-huh.
Like, pats a kind of pound, not pounds, sort of like, I don't know what the word is for this, but like sort of points a fist on Alvin's chest and be like, I got people here to help me if I get lost. But I won't. I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, I'll be talking to Overseer Kaufman. Enjoy your stay, everybody. And,
Thank you,
no trouble.
Chris.
See you later,
Good.
sis.
and I
Good
know
to see
the
you still
warning...
around.
Yeah, I know the warning might be lost on you lot, but don't start no trouble.
Hey, lesson learned.
Kara's eyes blink red.
Ugh. She begins walking back towards the big cog-shaped door in the ground, and she sort of slips in between the crack where it's a little the door is a little bit ajar, and she seems to climb down some fashion of ladder.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go sell this fish, and I start walking towards the general store.
Nice,
Apex,
that's what I
yeah, better give them a warning. I guess unless you guys want to go somewhere else first, I guess I'll just follow.
Actually, you know this place on the back of your hand, right?
I'll try.
Mind helping me find that library? More T51 stuff might be able to be helpful. After that, we can go ahead and look for some pulse gear.
Above Game Connor, was the library in the vault, or?
The library was inside the vault itself. You would need to go down into Vault 66 in order to find the library.
Well, we
You
just,
and Alvin go look for that library, and you can search around your room, and Apex and I'll find you later. Okay, sounds great. Bye. And
All
Cynthia
right.
just runs
I was
off.
legit about to
all right.
roll on you.
That's
Damn you, Cynthia! I know your wily ways!
She's like perfect angle running. Just like boing, boing, boing.
I'm making Sonic the Hedgehog bounce noises.
Yes.
Oh my god. Scratches the back of her head. Yeah, library's in the vault if you just want to go ahead in.
Oh yeah, fantastic. All
Yeah,
right.
let's follow my. Guess kind of sort of follow my sister then. Just walk over the direction she went then.
All right, you follow behind with your sister. You go to the slightly ajar vault door, which you know to be broken. The entire reason you set out on your journey to begin with. And you climb down the long rope ladder that has been attached to the top and bottom of this long, once operating elevator shaft. Now, not so much.
Snake eater. Anyway, mind your head.
Yep, I got you. I guess we all look like cogwheels on the outside, huh?
Oh, I guess I've only seen a few, but yeah, that does seem the pertinent pattern they like to do with these things.
No, fancy that.
If
And-
my sister's still there, like on the bottom when we're climbing down, I'll just go like, "Hey, sis, hold up!"
Are you coming down too?
Looks like Apex and Cynthia split off to the general store. I hope he does not poison someone with that fish he's trying to sell, but, you know, He's proud of it. But Alvin's real interested in seeing the library. If you want to point us that direction, real quick.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll show him there.
Forewarned is forearmed, as they say.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's true.
She waits for you to hit the bottom of the ladder, and you two have entered Vault 66 proper. Meanwhile, with Cynthia and Apex.
I slap the cold dead cod down on the counter.
Meteoric force.
You enter the Double Six, the general store. You see a man with sort of somewhat well-kempt brown hair that's combed backwards. Look down at the fish, look up at you, squints. Well, howdy.
Hello. How much will you pay for meat?
For meat? Right. He, like, leans down, he sniffs the fish.
I caught it fresh an hour ago.
Okay. Huh. He looks at his Pip-Boy and he looks like he's pressing a few buttons. I could do 4 caps for it.
We'll put that on balance. Do you have any stim packs?
Stim packs. Let me see. Ooh.
No.
Yeah, just moving some stuff around. Shuffling around the
Rummaging.
Oh, I'm rummaging.
Loading. Loading.
Oh, it's happening.
Loading.
Oh. Well, you're in luck. As a matter of fact, and don't tell Isla I got myself a hold of these, but I've got 3 stim packs here.
Nice.
How much would you sell those for?
Well, if you're getting them direct from the dock herself, she'd probably upcharge you like nobody's business. But I'm willing to cut you a deal. 30 caps per.
I put half a bottle of whiskey down on the table. How much if we throw this in?
An opened, half-empty bottle of whiskey.
Well, when you put it like that, it doesn't sound as good.
I know. That's because it's not as good. 3 caps.
3 caps for the bottle of whiskey, 4 for the fish. Wow.
Wow.
The fish is fresh.
It is fresh.
It's also
of dubious edibility.
Therefore, shouldn't the whiskey be worth more?
Oh, God.
The half-full bottle of whiskey.
Yes.
It's not watershed, so no.
When we say half full bottle, are we talking like, you know, a handle of whiskey, or are we talking like
I
imagine like a bottle of Jack, right?
Like, yeah, a half-drained bottle of Jack Daniels. I mean, I can show you what it looks like.
That's gotta be worth more than 3 caps.
Are you wanting to haggle him down? Or haggle him up, rather?
Apex is merely speaking at the moment in logical fortitude. The whiskey would clearly be worth more.
On what grounds?
On the grounds that it is potable liquid. And liquor. And I haven't touched it. That half is the... Thinks for a moment. Angel's share.
Make a charm roll. -1.
Oh, God.
All right, let's see. My charm is already a 0. So,
Now you're at Louise levels.
2d6 -1.
Cynthia walks in and slides over to the counter.
That's an 8 still.
Hey. not
Look
bad.
at you.
He sighs and like looks up the bottle. He'll open it and he'll sniff inside of it. Well, it doesn't smell weird. Do you know who drained the other half of this?
I ponder back to when I got it. No.
A skeleton.
But I think it was a very long time ago. I found it in a liquor store. It was just left there.
I could do 6 caps.
That's double the price. Now, I pull out a scroll of paper. What would you do for a business opportunity?
A business opportunity? Well, sir, that depends on what it is that you're offering me.
Beer brewing.
Beer brewing?
I have a last remaining copy of the Laughley Brewery beer recipe. Its former inhabitants have all been incinerated or eviscerated.
Alvin sneezes.
He gets a bit of a mad twinkle in his eye. Okay. Let me think for a moment. I'll give you 50 caps for it.
How about I give you all of this in exchange for the stim packs?
Make another charm roll, but just straight this time.
No.
3.
How about you give me the fish, the half-drained bottle of whiskey, and the recipe, and I'll give you 2 stim packs.
I stare him in the eye.
He gives you a look like, come on.
Is Cynthia in here by now?
Yeah, you've entered the building at this point.
How much were the stim packs again?
30 a pop. It's looking like I'll have one left after this.
I get a slight twinkle in my eye. What if you throw in that last stim pack for half price and I don't tell Eileen that you had them?
Cynthia turns to Apex. Are you encouraging this fine man to lie?
I'm encouraging him to encourage me to lie.
I'm sorry, I'm on pins right now. Jesus Christ.
His mouth sort of flattens.
I'm willing to roll and intimidate for this.
Sure. Roll your intimidation.
Ah, fuck.
Wow.
6.
Aw.
So he can tell I'm a bad liar.
Yeah. Yeah, he blinks and he looks you over. You haven't been here very long, have you, buddy?
No.
Yeah, I can tell. You didn't even get her name right.
I blink I blink 3 times in a random succession. Irene.
Isla.
Isla.
Apex, how much were you wanting for all of this stuff?
And he wanted all of my stim packs for this beer recipe, a fish, and half a bottle of whiskey.
He was gonna give you the beer recipe? She, squares up with him.
Hadn't found anything else to do with it yet.
He's gonna make thousands of caps over the course of the years. And you were gonna part with it for, what, 50?
Sweats a little.
Oh my god, you're doing the upset mom thing. I love this.
Apex just kind of looks down and scratches the back of his neck. I mean, I was kind of thinking that.
Now, ma'am, this was his transaction to make, and he was doing quite well. I was about to give him these two
She crosses
fine
her
stim
arms
packs.
and stares at him, eyes flickering red a little.
As soon as I hear that tone, I'm actually kind of upset, and I start glaring at him.
God, she's the mom.
He holds
she's
his.
She's the sir. My son asked for no pickles, lady.
Oh no! Like this.
I grab the beer recipe and take it back.
And you were gonna take a half bottle of whiskey, which I know you can sell shots of for at least 2 caps apiece, for nothing. Was that your plan?
No.
Connor, above game. How many shots of whiskey are in that bottle, do you think, for a half bottle that you could eye?
10 to 15 in a half a bottle.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Okay.
A shot is about an ounce and a half.
And the fish was how big?
It's a full grown
Just
cod,
your
so it's about,
yeah,
it's like 6 pounds.
Maybe a little bit
wow.
bigger because of all the tumors, but
Yeah, but
Right.
I don't think we count the tumor meat.
Because they're yeah, you know, but like 6 pounds of edible meat.
They float gooder that way.
So, you're telling me right now that this half bottle of whiskey, which you know is clean because it's whiskey, And it's probably been sitting in the sun, so it's baked off anything that could have been bad for it. That's got to be what? About 30 caps worth of shots?
Well, you've just admitted
you
that it
got
was
a
just sitting
fresh
out in the
cod.
sun, so...
Oh, does that lessen the alcohol content?
It was
Well,
in a
no.
store in the shade.
And you have a fresh caught fish that looks to be about 6 pounds of usable meat. That sounds like 6 hefty meals for people, which I'm sure you could get, what, 5 caps a pop?
Yeah, if the person who eats it doesn't die of mercury poisoning. Look, I appreciate what you're
Exactly.
trying to do.
And I appreciate that you're trying to sell your wares as best you need. But if you're saying that your stim packs are a total of 60, we've got a half bottle of whiskey and a full fish that is freshly caught, I watched it happen, that could go for about 65.
Look,
So-
I'm giving you a deal on these stim packs. I'm losing out. Trust me.
We could go check with Irene, Ira, Osiris.
That's destiny, Lanny.
Most harrowing battle we've ever had in this campaign.
God, Sephiroth has nothing on this.
Does
There he is.
Ira sell the stim packs for 30 a pop?
You mean
Tap
Isla?
Isla?
Tap side said Ira. Tap side said again Ira.
Ira, thank you. How about this? The fish, the whiskey, and I will throw in an extra 15 caps. Just to make sure you're still turning a profit.
Do I get the beer recipe as well?
Absolutely not.
So you're telling me I get a whole fish, a whole half a bottle of whiskey, and 15 caps in exchange for 3 life-saving needles of a miracle drug that can regenerate flesh that I am
Oh, you said
selling at a
2.
loss. I have 3. I was going to give them 2. That's what we call haggling in this day and age.
Then we can do 2.
I'll throw in the beer recipe for 300 caps.
He turns to Apex like,
You said he'd make about 3 times as much. That seems like a decent profit.
it's your recipe, so if you want to do it. She looks at the shopkeep like, your call. Arms still crossed, kind of looking upset like, I can't believe he's doing this for 300. Ugh.
So, just so I'm getting this straight, you are offering him...
Half a bottle of whiskey, 1 gross dead cod. That's what it's listed as in my inventory, and the Laughley beer recipe for 3 stim packs and 300 caps.
Somewhere in the distance, Louise is suddenly like, the greatest deal in the world might be going down right now, and why am I not aware of it?
She kind of... She's facing a little towards the wall, not towards the shopkeep right now, but kind of like mouths over to Apex like, are you sure that you shouldn't go higher? Whatever. It's fine.
How much higher should I go?
Never mind. It's your thing.
10,000 caps.
No, wait, never mind.
I look back. Too high, too low.
Cynthia's just waiting to hear what the shopkeep says.
Yeah,
She doesn't even turn at this point.
He's got, like... He's just doing that slow squint. Are you showing him the recipe, or does?
I haven't I've
He
shown him
hasn't
if anything.
unrolled it.
If anything, I've shown him the label of it just to show that it's like, you know, properly monikered. But I wouldn't
first
let him
of
look
all-
at the recipe.
First of all, I don't even have 10,000 caps on me. If I did, I wouldn't be here. I'd be living it up in Westport.
Why?
Because it's nicer there.
Not really.
That's a matter of opinion, but okay. Secondly, you have already offered me what I consider to be a fair deal earlier. Now you want me to pay you 300 caps for a beer recipe, a fish, and half a bottle of whiskey, and I lose my 3 stim packs.
Cynthia snaps and points toward the ceiling, and her eyes light up.
We could sell it in Westport. Oh, they'd buy it quick.
They do like beer. Probably too much.
We could just start. Well, we don't have time right now. We got missions to take care of. If you had this kind of. Oh, we. She kind of side eyes the shopkeep, like. Maybe we should just keep it for now.
Maybe.
Hey, you know what? Maybe you should. Are you going to buy the stim packs or no?
That didn't work at all, and I'm sad.
No, it didn't.
She hasn't even had a chance. She hasn't even had a chance to roll charm, and she's good at it.
I know.
To be fair, I would make an argument to roll charm here because we are trying to convince him that if he buys this, he might be able to buy his way in there with the success off the beer.
Yes, but you did fail to persuade him before and then failed to intimidate him.
I was working under bad intel.
Mm-hmm.
How
That's all.
about this?
If you can do the stim packs and the 300,
We can part with the recipe. And help you find a connection at Westport to set up in there. To sell. We have some.
You have connections in Westport.
I have unfortunate inroads, yes.
Quite a few, actually.
On both sides.
Surely you've heard of the Runaways?
Oh, you know what? Yes, actually. Now that you mention it, I have heard rumblings on the radio.
Cynthia waves.
hi.
Hi. So you're pretty well known around these parts.
Rather, actually, yes.
Oh,
Made
we're
quite a few
on.
friends along the way.
Let me guess. Big and powerful friends that you don't want to upset.
I
Want
don't
to
mind
upset?
one way or the other if I upset them.
Hmm,
He's a pretty honest fellow. He can't help it.
I've noticed.
Well, how about this? You
No,
get the recipe and you start making things happen. We'll help you figure out a way into a bar. We know a great steak place that go well with beer. And much as I'd like to take care of this recipe and everything myself, well, we're infamous for a reason. We still have a lot of things to take care of on our end. Who knows how long it'll be before we can settle down.
You have a saloon around here, right? They might want to buy it.
okay. All right. I'll do the 3-inch stim packs and 150. You can keep your fish, you can keep your whiskey.
For some reason, that actually makes Apex more excited, but he looks to Cynthia. She is now the negotiator.
That's
She sees
my
how
best
excited
offer.
Apex is, and her face does that like, oh man.
If you could
All
grow a
right.
tail, it would wag.
Any chance you'll let us work at the bar one day? She smiles.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I have a feeling we have a little more warming up to do before then, but I think you've made his day just by saying yes. He has no idea what he's losing, but that's all right. Go on
So-
then.
I hand over the beer recipe.
He grabs it and he opens it and he looks at it just to confirm its validity. His eyes quickly scan over the ancient piece of paper and then he closes it. He sets it on the desk behind.
The backside of the paper has various sketches of different Apex outfits.
He flips it over. Huh. And he sets it on the desk behind him, and then he goes down. You hear a metal box opening. And the clinking of the familiar sound of caps being counted. And then he slides across 150 caps, and then he puts 1, 2, 3 stim packs on the counter.
I grab all of it and just kind of like scoop the caps and just kind of drop them in the fanny pack.
Pleasure doing business with you. Now, was there anything else you needed?
Well, I came in for the latter part of this. What all you got in the shop?
Well, this is a general store, and sans 3 stim packs, I've got... Let's see what I've got. He sort of turns around, he looks over his inventory. I've got 3 boxes of Blanco mac and cheese. A lead pipe. 3 rounds of pistol ammo. 10mm, if you're wondering.
I was.
Wonder glue.
Oh.
Not the economy kind either. Nope, this is the real deal right here.
All right.
A bottle of wine for your friends in Westport. A fission battery. And 2 rolls of duct tape.
How much is the Wonder Glue and the duct tape? Those sound like things Alvin would like.
The enterprising individual in the business of repairs, it would seem. That is what it's
I'll give
good
you half
for.
a bottle of whiskey and 1 gross dead cod.
Cynthia just, without looking, just puts a hand on his shoulder, pats him a couple times.
Somewhere Louise shudders again. Why does that keep happening?
He sighs. I'll take the cod and the whiskey, and just to get you out of my hair, 15 for the Wonder Glue. Oh, and the duct tape. And the duct tape, and the duct tape. I could do 10 per roll of duct tape.
So wait, is he saying he'll take the cod and the whiskey and give us the Wonder Glue for 15?
Yes.
Is that supposed to be a discount?
You can make a wits roll to see if he might be.
Bushka 13.
Wow. Okay.
He
I know
seems
this man's mannerisms now.
he seems a little bit agitated, and like he's just trying to get you out of here. He doesn't seem like he's upselling anything at all.
Oh, so he's on the honest prices now because he's like, just go, because I don't want to haggle like this on everything.
Exactly.
Okay. So he wants the cod and the whiskey. Wonder glue would more than likely be more than that usually.
If he's going even on the Wonder Glue, then the 15 it would normally cost 25 caps per Wonder Glue bottle.
Around there, yeah.
I put 15 caps on the table for it.
Oh, okay.
He sets down the bottle of Wonder Glue and he scoops the caps down underneath his counter, and you have a bottle of Wonder Glue.
I knew I could sell that fish to somebody.
Oh my god. And Cynthia will put down 20 caps for the duct tape. No hassle, no haggle. Making it obvious that like the brewery thing was the big whoop-dee. And can I like try and roll a charm roll just to make him not hate us as much?
Sure.
Let's see. That's okay. Since this is my first time meeting him,
It is.
oh, 8?
Okay. He meets your gaze for a moment, and you sort of make an expression that's like sorry about all of this, and he just exhales. It's business is business. No harm, no foul.
Appreciated.
Right, and you wanted the 2 rolls of duct tape for 20. There you are.
And also, what kind of pistol ammo did you say it was?
10 millimeter. Got 3 bullets.
I pull 3 3.57 round or .357 rounds out of my pocket or of my fanny pack, I guess. Clank, clank, clank.
Clink, clink, clink.
Are you proposing a trade, Apex, or?
I have 0 use for these.
Slowly turns to the shopkeeper.
He's
Trade?
got the 3 bullets in his hand, and he sets them down on the counter. He
Alright.
looks like he's ready to scoop up the 357.
And she will take the pistol ammo and slide the other ammo towards him.
Okay. He grabs it up and he sets it neatly on the counter behind him. Whew!
Thank you
Capitalism.
for doing business with us.
Now, where is your medical center in the town? I still have a fractured shoulder.
He sort of gets a strange look on his face, like, really? Ugh. Well, you'll want to see Isla Winters. Her shop is towards the northwest corner of the town. Should be easy enough to spot.
She'll be over there right now, then.
Yeah, she'll be wearing a vault suit, white lab coat. Can't miss her.
Sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you again. And sorry for the hassle.
Enjoy the beer money.
And
I walk away.
as you turn to walk out, You exit the small general store, and catching the setting sunlight is a rather tall figure whose shadow casts over you both as you leave the general store.
Oh.
Do I get a good look at this figure?
You will in a moment.
Okay.
Alvin and Louise.
Yo!
Howdy.
Louise suddenly just shivers and thinks to her and says out loud, I feel like Apex and Cynthia got shortchanged somehow. I'm not sure.
Your senses.
Fine.
I'm sure they're all fine.
Yeah. So, library, yes.
Yeah. Think we can find something to help us out here?
So Chris is just sort of leading us along.
Yeah, I'm just sorry. I'm trying to find appropriate ambiance for this. Is this it?
Oh, it might be.
Oh, it just might be.
No, yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, that'll work. Just was making sure it wasn't Dr. Howell's theme.
Done. Ah, just as I remember the place. Bong.
It's just for the bong, and then he just notices he's in camera and just duck rolls out of the way.
Yes, you make your way down into the familiar looking setting of your youth, the Vault 66 interior. The first thing you notice, Alvin, is that this space is enormous. You see lots of big open space. You see multi-tiered railings that this looks like it could have housed easily thousands of people.
Oh, damn.
It's a bit cozier than 85, right?
Cozy is one way to put it.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. Looks like you could go ahead and put 3 Riversides in this place. It's so darn big.
I had a damn good time running around this place when I was younger, until they caught me and they told me to go away.
Yeah, you got lost a couple of times too, and we had to come looking for you. So to be fair,
strategically out of place.
Well,
I can imagine such a big place is easy to go ahead and get lost in.
Well, it's not really that hard, but well, we've lived here most of our lives, so.
Yeah, for some reason that pissant Barry always got his bearings pretty quickly in this place.
Yeah.
I will admit I wasn't quite as good at keeping mine. Glares at her sister a little bit.
Yeah, well, Barry's got something coming for him if he ever decides to come back.
Several somethings.
He's still got that part on him, right? The thing to fix your door up there.
It's gonna go a lot easier for him if he does, because if he sold it and has made more work for me, well, we'll cross that bridge when it comes.
I haven't heard the hide nor hair of Barry in days and days.
That makes several of us.
Knowing from what y'all tell me about him, he's little slime snake's probably keeping himself laid low somewhere.
That weasel can worm his way out of anything, but if he ever decides to show his face here again, she sort of just makes a motion like strangling the air. Ugh.
To start, she says with a grin.
To start.
Yeah. He's definitely throw a bee in your albonnets, huh?
Yeah, that's one word for it.
She sort of pats the handle of headache lovingly.
You take one shot on him. Can I have the gun and do another one?
Sure.
She's kind of only half serious, but she's just like, that'd be nice.
That's family for you. Man,
Well,
this place though is kind of remarkable in a way. Take away the size, if you take away just the emptiness of it, though.
Yeah, well, our forefathers were pretty well prepared. We've got food extruders. We've got clean water. And we've got a library.
Ain't never heard of food extruders nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
What's all that
It's.
about?
I hope you love thin nutrient gruel.
Oh, only the grueliest, right?
Louise just sort of does the quieter smile at Alvin's interest. Be like, oh, if it's tech, Chris, he's gonna want to see it. I don't think we can let you take it apart, though, or Shine.
No, I get that.
Earthshine. What's all that about?
Code names.
Code names. Right.
What the fuck? Just, I don't know if you know what it looks like when someone like coughs but doesn't actually make a sound.
Alvin just leaps up. Alvin just leaps up. Code names. We got we got caught out one time in around Westport. We just did code names and it just kind of stuck.
Oh God, you bring that up and it's just that involuntary little just pinkening. It's just like, yeah, that was a time. Espionage star way out of that.
Right. If you'd
anyway,
like,
Chris, about the library, we getting close to that?
you could make a charm roll to see if you want to deceive her with that. It's not gonna. If you want to.
It's not exactly in his nature, but I do got a +1.
In your nature, I'm a -1. Oh no, fuck me. That's 5.
That's a 12.
That's a 5. It's the opposite of fucking. It's the fucking opposite of Westport now. I'm the one.
Yeah, Louise, she knows when you're lying.
Yeah, that's the other problem.
It takes one to know one.
Damn you!
It's a hereditary trait.
I learned it from the best. Crap.
She gives you a look like, really? But she looks over at Alvin. Well, whatever. I'm still gonna call you Alvin and Louise.
Hey, sounds good to me.
Well, yeah, what else would you call us?
Right.
God,
well, library's this way.
Alrighty.
And she leads you into a large room with stainless steel walls. And you see various shelves that look to be packed with books that are alphabetically sorted. You see different sections for like technology, food, history. Well, it's not.
Wow.
It's not much, but, well, it's probably better than you'll do out there.
Oh, that's nothing besides. Holy moly, this is nice.
Leans into her sister. I think he's impressed.
I don't think I've ever seen so many books up in one place that haven't been, you know, all charred and whatnot.
And intact, yeah.
Damn.
Louise sort of pops over to like one shelf like she knows it and sort of runs her finger across the books and there it is. Pulls out this one book. She's like, yep, always in the same place. Remember this one, Chris? Holds out a book that looks like it's like a collection of poems for kids.
Oh, yeah. I remember when you would get sad and lonely, I would read that one to you.
I was a kid. Maybe I did. Just puts the book back. She's like,
A big little put the fight about it.
Want to fight about it?
Well,
so yeah, what are we looking for, Alvin? What should we look for exactly?
All right.
Chris said it was pre-war, so maybe some schematic books, maybe about pre-war. Y'all have anything about mechanicals?
That might be in the technology section, or you could look in the history section. But that I'm going to leave to you two shiny kids. Me, I got a meeting with Kaufman.
I gotcha. Everything all good in the home front?
That's nothing you need to worry about. It's just some logistical stuff, I suppose.
Oh, that's fair enough. Well, you'll know where to you'll know where to find us. So if you need anything, you just holler now, all right?
All right.
You know, pop by our rooms if we're not here, okay?
I'll be sure to knock.
What?
And then she leaves.
God. She has a finger up like, what? Looks to Alvin real quick. That's not what I meant. I just,
Oh, she knows.
Just, yeah.
I think she has an inkling. I think.
Wait, which part did... slaps her cheeks like, technology, let's go!
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Why don't you, since you know the place like the back of your hand, and I'm pointed out where the technology is, you go to the history, and I'll go here. If you find any, military books or something like that, you let me know, all right?
All right, sounds good.
All right. I'll take a look here. Vault-Tec probably has a buttload of information about power armor stuff.
I think I will roll scavenger for this one.
Alrighty.
All right. That's a 10! Yay!
Well, look at you. Scanning through the various old tomes, you do come across one that seems to be have particulars about pre-war military technology, specifically the armor that was being used in Operation Anchorage. The titular T-51 power armor. It goes into great lengths about its history, about how it was conceived and the technology behind it. And you feel pretty confident that with this, you have most of the knowledge you would need to try and fabricate some armor for yourself.
I can't say I get all of this, but that looks pretty damn promising. Hey, Alvin, what you find?
Still looking. Ton of stuff around here. What do you want me to roll to go ahead and find books, Connor? Smarts?
I'd say a wits or a smarts in this situation would probably suffice.
My smarts is higher, so I'll go ahead and do that.
Navigate the Dewey Decimal System.
Oh, I loved the Dewey Decimal System. I liked it. That's a 14.
Oh my god. Well, there you go. What specifically were you looking for?
Well, the way I see it, I have books on making power armor, books on robotics, books on pre-war power armor. a Programmer's Digest and a big book of science so far. So, what I want to look for specifically is anything that might have schemata for T-51. Things that might give me like a shopping list of like, these are where military circus go. This is where these things go. This is where this goes.
I'd say you find a manual on robotics, and you can cross-reference the information in that book with the one that Louise found in order to formulate in your mind the sort of technology that you would need to acquire and forge yourself in order to try and recreate some of this technology. I'd say you wouldn't find schematics in a place like this, but you do get the knowledge necessary of the things that you would need to and the know-how in order to make your own power armor. And going in, it's not going to be like, it's not going to be as good as it was when the suit was made. It's not going to be Brotherhood of Steel level power armor either, but it is going to be functional, at least in your mind's eye.
All right, I found myself Bow Robotics. What'd you all find, Louise?
Comes on over. Here, try mine on for size.
Anchorage, huh? Ain't that the place that Cynthia fought at?
Oh, damn. I think you're right. May as well ask her, but... I mean, I don't get this stuff like you do, but it seems like it's pretty damn useful.
Well... I'll throw my bag on a table. There are probably tables to sit at around the library here, right? I don't know what the vault tech looks like.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is this just like a room of books, or is it kitted out like a normal library?
It's yeah, there would be tables and chairs set up where you can pore over the tomes in your meantime. There's also a set of terminals that are active and available that you would probably have more databases that you can cross-reference with the stuff that you find in the materials as well. Probably not like whole novels, but just things that people have marked down over the years, just random tidbits of information. But yeah, you do find places that you can sit down and pore over the information in these books. About 10 minutes goes by, and the two of you are studying, and you see your sister, Louise, walk by. She's sort of speaking into a walkie-talkie in her shoulder. And she looks like she's making a brisk pace towards the ladder that goes out of the vault itself. And there's a man following her, a man you know to be Overseer Jack Kaufman. He's sort of a sinewy, tall, thin individual with wiry black hair. Both of them have sort of a concerned look on their face.
Louise slides her chair back. Hang tight, Earthshine. I'm gonna check something.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Skirts out and sort
where's
of...
that pencil? Right, there we go.
Skirts out and calls down to Chris. Chris?
She, looks over her shoulder at you, and, she motions for you to follow her.
Just hang tight, Alvin, okay? I'm just gonna go with Chris for a sec, alright?
Hey, that's no trouble.
Kind of jog up to her.
I see.
What's going on?
Jack looks at you and pats you on the shoulder. Louise, good to see you again.
Yeah, likewise. You guys look like something's going down.
Well, that is to say... And Chris cuts him off. Did your friend follow you into town at all?
What friend? Which
And
friend are you talking about?
as she says that, we'll pan back outside.
Oh no.
Cynthia
What are
and
we looking
Apex.
at?
The very tall individual that is sort of casting you in shadow right now as the sun hits him just right appears to be wearing some sort of poncho that looks patched together from several different other types of outfits and leathers and stuff. This individual is wearing a dark-colored hood that makes them difficult to really get a look of any features on them. And they stand with sort of makeshift, almost greaves around their legs. And the individual slowly scans around at all the people. Head turns towards you two. And at this point, everyone who can see this individual has stopped what they're doing. And in a soft but rumbling voice, you hear, "Food. I need food." And that's where we're going to take a break.
Oh, that's...
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah!
I don't know what this is.
I have a lot of food, but I just gave away my fish.
I
How
was
much
gonna
have you
say
done?
we had the cod. We had it.
We had it in our hands!
We're still in the shop. We could point at the shopkeeper.
Oh,
He-
my
he's
God.
just fish.
Just go to that poor shopkeep, be like, feed this man.
Welcome, friend. How can I...
Cod.
Oh,
I
Christ.
want cod.
It's like, why the fuck did I do
I
business
have
with
a
these
hunger
people?
that only cod can satisfy.
Bring me
gross dead cod.
Bring me
Uh,
sugar, water.
We'll be right back after these messages.
I'm gonna get some
Brought to
water.
you by Abraxo.
I'll
It's the
be right back
Abraxius.
too.
It's the Abraxiast. I love the food extruders settings. I looked up a picture of them for this just to describe them if you have decided to visit them. It's amazing. They
Oh,
have three
cool.
they have three settings: protein, fiber, and fat.
Ew!
I know.
Ew!
I mean, those are the correct settings to have.
I mean, you're right, but like, oh, it's so sad.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Everyone eats their thin nutrient gruel the same way.
It all goes down the same hole. And leaves out, hopefully, the other ones.
Can't see it. There's just so much hatred in my body right now. You saying that? Just oh goodness.
It can be flavored in any way you want, though.
Well, that's nice.
I'm glad.
I want my protein-dense gruel to be tasting like oranges.
You have all the major food groups like beef, ham, bacon, chicken, lettuce, spinach, broccoli, fruit, peanuts, butter,
What the?
and grease.
Ooh, grease flavor.
Exotic.
What the general store owner will never know that I could have given him the best business in the world. I could have also given him a pizza recipe. Then he could have had the market on pizza and beer, and he would have been set.
Now I could start my own bar with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the bar. Screw the whole thing. Extruder food comes in every flavor except good.
Comes in all flavors except pleasant. I'm gonna go use the restroom.
I'm gonna grab something. I'll be right back. Yep. Great.
I'm very excited, chat. Hmm. I believe... Oh my. Where is this? Lake St. Louis. Oh yeah, it was hailing earlier, chat. I forgot to mention. We had some really wild storms for like 30 seconds.
Oh man, I'm glad you didn't have the wind shears that we had a couple weeks back.
Yeah, I'm just glad my power didn't go out. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
Having to skip Gateway again would have sucked major balls.
It would have busted your heart in twain. You just would have grabbed your right earlobe and squeezed it.
Would have snapped my fingers and said, "Oh man, shucks."
And then you would have uppercut a rock in half.
That's true. I would have done that.
Like you do.
Oh yeah, you don't know this, but my boy's wicked strong. He's strong as a look at him, strong.
I'm a big boy.
Looking strong, Papa Jack.
Oh, he's a growing boy. He's a big old growing man.
Oh wow, I'm way low on my protein. Hold on a sec. I need to go grab a protein bar.
How can you
I was
tell?
just looking over my Mac. Because I have an app that I track my macros on.
Ah, right.
Oh, okay. Cause I was in the same vein as Sarah. Like I was just like, how does he know? I thought you were like Brock Sampson. Like you just know when someone's screwing you for your car. You just know when your protein's low.
It's just like, do you have like one of them diabetes tester thingies, but it's for protein? I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, technology's come a long way. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that exists. But there's apps that control your I wouldn't say control your macros, but monitor your macros and whatnot now. So I might get on something like that. I worked out for a little bit at the start of the year, but then I got the flu wicked bad. And I just haven't gone in a couple months.
I'm still not back up to my normal regime worth of running. I'm walking still. Once I get it up there, I can be running every other time like I'd normally do.
Well, doing my working on my show, doing my redesign, and doing my drives. It's allowed me to go ahead and restock my food stores because I had literally nothing. So
I'm back.
I've just been, hey, welcome back, bud. So I've just been like, just earmarking some like healthier recipes that I can go ahead and look into.
It's like Lonnie's like,
I want to mess around more of ancient grains. That's what I want to do.
Oh. Lonnie's like, I got to check my protein. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here thinking, I should be hungrier than I am right now. Why am I not hungry?
My secret is I'm always hungry.
Oh yeah,
Me too.
that's a big ethos, you know. Yeah, I could eat. That's a big icebreaker. It's just,
I mean,
and they're like, Matt, you ate like 2 hours ago, and I'm like, yeah, I could eat more. That's fine.
I found that
mean,
when I go
ahead.
I was gonna say I have found that when I go to sleep hungry, I tend to sleep better. But
I mean, I ate, but now I'm just sort of like, I should have eaten more. But I'm not really hungry, honestly. I don't know.
I went to the fridge and pulled out 3 or 4 slices of deli meat and squirted mustard directly onto it and ate that.
Don't do that.
It
That's
was
my dad.
delicious. It
That's
was
my
amazing.
dad.
I am eating a peanut butter pie protein bar from One. The one bars are actually really good. And
They're
their
alright,
macros aren't
yeah.
bad.
Okay.
That sounds really good.
Do you not like them?
Okay.
They're alright, yeah.
Do you have one that you like better? Because I'm always open for more. This is just the first one that I've had that doesn't texturally feel like I'm eating Play-Doh.
Most of the gluten-free ones feel like Play-Doh, so
Yeah.
I don't know
I
if that
think-
is a gluten-free one actually.
I like anything that tastes like cookie dough, so, you know, I looked for those protein bars. I think One has one.
Whey protein, vegetable glycerin.
Usually if you check the contains at the very end of it, it'll tell you if there's wheat.
Wheat.
No, it's gluten free. Peanuts, almonds, milk, and soy.
Delicious. Buffalo chicken tendies with blue cheese dressing, Chehalem. Oh my god.
Macaroni with the chicken strips.
Oh
my God.
I miss
To be
frickin'
fair,
That's
grilled
me.
buffalo chicken isn't actually.
Yo, you
that
talking
much
about
worse
chicken
than
strips
fried
in my
buffalo
vicinity?
chicken, so.
I am about the tendies.
I
I'm
love
about that tendy life.
Oh, I love tendies. I got tendy madness.
Ugh.
I feel like I've said it before in numerous occasions, but you guys know there's a difference between chicken strips, chicken tenders, and chicken fingers?
Yes.
What?
It's the cut of the chicken, right?
It's the way it's
All of
prepared,
them-
I believe.
No,
mean-
Connor,
the
have-
chicken. Go ahead.
Very important information about this. I eat the chicken.
Uh-huh. That's what you're
it.
supposed to do.
Yeah, she,
Yeah, I don't-
she
I don't-
doesn't care from whence it
I don't
flows.
care from
She
whence
just cares about the chicken.
From whence it was prepared.
So
I want to eat it.
chicken tenders is actually like both chicken tenders and chicken fingers are actually that little small sliver. It's almost like the tenderloin of the chicken that runs just below the breast and along the kind of like the rib cage area, like down near the spine.
Yeah.
That's the like little tenderest part of the chicken tender. Now chicken what is it, like strips? Those can be any part of the sliced breast meat.
Mm-hmm.
Those
I
are the-
believe that is
that's
correct.
What about fingers?
What about the
Fing-
fries?
Are they the-
finger-
are they the
fingers.
fingers?
Yeah, the fingers are any part of the sliced, but often they will also be the tendy.
But what about chicken fries?
Chicken
Those
fries
are-
is just chicken fries is like you throw it all in a meat grinder, and that slurry you shape into a fry.
Wet sausage!
Travis,
Just
Travis
like chicken nuggets.
just gave the pro tip of if you don't like bread in nuggets, use Parmesan cheese and egg.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What?
You
That-
can fry that up. It doesn't stick.
cheesiest.
It doesn't stick as well as it should, but it does a decent job. And the cheese, it's nice and crackly.
My god.
Mm.
That changes everything.
gonna
We're learning
eat
the
a
chicken
lot of
tech
cheese.
tonight.
I haven't made
it's just-
chicken fingers in a while.
Oh
it's ve-
man.
it's pretty salty though.
There's a
Oh,
marinade I
oh
like to make
no,
from the chicken
salty chicken. Oh, what will I do? I guess I'll just eat all of it.
strips. I guess I'll just eat all of it.
I guess
I've
I have
made, like-
no other choice.
I made
No
like,
other
I
recourse.
made like
You just
potato
need to
chip
make a-
encrusted ones.
Just need to make a nice garlic butter to go with it.
Just
Oh, man.
just twisting
Mm-mm-mm.
Caitlin's arm about this.
I want so many foods that I cannot right now.
I can
It's
make you chicken tendies with potato chips so that it's not gluten.
That too.
Danger.
Ooh, chicken with
Or
chips.
Cornflakes are actually a really good substitute.
No, it's
I
you
have heard
gluten-
that. I have heard
it's
about
chicken
cornflakes.
fingers with a
I've done that. I've
it's
done
chicken
that.
fingers with potato chip coating instead of a flour one.
Oh my god.
I think that's
Yeah, but-
actually that's actually like almost karage if you use.
Oh yeah,
Potato.
tempura covering is gluten free too.
Man,
Then I get to frying though.
Man, you're making the chef and me just like fucking just scream out in fury. I want to
Well,
cook for people so bad.
You're 5 days away from the snackiest day of the year, so.
It's true.
What?
It is true.
What's the snackiest day of the year?
The
Oh,
snackiest day of the year.
Oh, I understand.
the California national holiday.
I was
Apparently.
up there. I was
Oh,
up there.
holy
the,
shit.
I was up there in Canada the year that it got legalized on 420. Taka and I were walking around a park, and it was about to hit 420. They started the count at 7, a very odd number to start the count at. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and this miasma just took over the park.
Whoa.
It was we likened it to Independence Day. You remember when it like blew up the place in like New York?
Yeah.
And that fog is just rolling through the streets. It was like
Yeah.
that. We got the biggest secondhand high I have ever had in my life.
Wow.
Oh, I remember the best secondhand high I had. I was playing Kingsfield 2 with a buddy of mine way back in high school. I think his folks were lighting up, and it went through, like under his door. And eventually, we just stopped playing Kingsfield. We were both like,
Travis was apparently
funny
there.
sword, funny sword.
Top dog, bite 'em all. Yeah, we
The
burn this
sound
shit
of-
up.
The sound of 1,000 lighters sparking at once.
Dude, I'm going to be seeing the new Ari Aster movie on 420. It's
Oh, the weird,
I don't
the
know
one
that I'm ready.
everyone's.
Yeah,
I'm interested very much how that is.
Bo is Afraid, which looks like Misery crossed with Alice in Wonderland. I'm down.
So many people are upset with that movie. Just like it's just a movie. Get over it.
It's the internet. Everyone's upset about everything. I could talk about liking blueberries, and they'll say that I hate strawberries. I don't know.
It's
Well- I mean, I
Ari
like-
Aster. He
Yeah.
has a very twisted mind when it comes to exploring certain philosophical and psychological issues. It vibes very well with me, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I liked Hereditary, so.
Anyway, I will not distract further.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get to it, shall we?
Yeah, let's chop
If
into
we're
it.
if we're ready, that is, if and we're ready.
Indeed.
I'm ready to figure out.
I don't
if
know.
this-
I guess so.
This hungry mountain man is.
All right. Well then,
I'm okay.
oh, I never went to the BRB screen, did I? Yep, you were just here the whole time. That's called planning ahead, chat.
Yeah, sure.
Don't have to come back if you never leave.
It's true.
Don't call it a
Oh,
comeback.
Bye, chat.
Hi, chat.
We were just
Don't
talking
call it a
about food
comeback.
because the large guy talked about food, so now I'm thinking about food.
And now I'm thinking.
All right, let's go.
There's a weird sound in my bedroom. Give me a minute.
Oh no.
All right.
Let's send the Apex anyway, so.
Indeed.
Apex is treating
I'm
this
fine.
guy.
Sorry.
It's all good. Apex is like regarding this guy like a. So he like, how tall would you say this gentleman is? And he's like right, like he's close to us.
Let me look.
Because Apex is like 5'8". He's not a tall guy, and he's usually slouched.
Yeah, this guy's probably like 8 feet tall.
Okay, Hulk size, gotcha. Apex is regarding him like a animal. but he's like slowly reaching into his pouch, and he pulls out 3 chunks of smoked mole rat meat. Food. And I hold it towards him.
His head immediately turns and settles right on you, and as he begins to approach you, you can see now as this incredibly tall individual trudges forward. This is clearly now a super mutant.
Oh.
Food for me.
Apex nods. Hungry.
He kneels down and he tilts his hand over and he turns his hand out to be given the food.
I give him the chunks of mole rat meat. They're basically like giant balls of jerky.
He slowly takes his other hand, he pinches the small offering, and he raises it up into his mouth. And as he tilts his head up, the sun catches his face, and you can quite clearly see now the green skin of a super mutant with some rather strange-looking markings that appear to be in random spots on his face, and you can see on his now exposed arms as well are similar markings, almost scarring, and he drops them into his mouth.
Thank you.
What brings you out this way?
Was starving. Needed food. Couldn't find any.
Can't hunt?
Hunting is easy, but not the right food.
What food do you need?
Not people. People aren't food.
Not to our kind.
No. Not to my kind. Not to your kind. To my kind.
He takes another bit of the mole rat meat and he eats it right in front of you, looks up at you, Cynthia.
Kind of smiles and gives a little wave. Hello.
Does he look wounded? Like, I know he has scars, but does he look wounded?
He does not look wounded. Make a wits roll.
I can do that. 13.
You've seen it, not on super mutants before, but you've seen it enough to know when the signs of it are prevalent. It seems like this individual is a bit malnourished. He seemed, even though this individual is ridiculously strong, probably even now stronger than you, even still very weak.
Apex has no doubt that he would have to use his agility if he had to fight this thing.
You notice the sort of slapdash nature of his outfit. It seems like it was almost tailored specifically for him. You see sort of almost gauntlets of jagged metal that are on his arms. And stitched together pieces of other bits of clothing that don't necessarily seem to match
Are you alone?
For now. Yes. For now.
So you were separated from a group.
In a manner of speaking.
He sort of curls his fingers a bit inwards, and then he softens his grip, exhales, and then shoves the rest of the meat into his mouth.
This will help me for some time. Do you want recompense?
What would you offer?
I can pay you.
And he grabs what looks to be like almost a trash bag from his waist. And it jingles with quite a lot of what you assume to be caps. And he sort of undoes a zip tie on it. And he just takes a handful, he reaches into the bag, and he extends a handful of what is probably 50 caps. We'll say, give or take, let's see. About 54 caps.
Oh, wow.
However, you do notice something. He hands the caps to you, and you see that more than a few of them have uncleaned flecks of blood and.
Knew you were gonna say that. I knew it.
Well, it came out of a super mutant's gore bag. I'm not.
Fair.
Just less questions, the better.
I mean, Apex's caps are probably not all clean either.
Yeah, fair.
That's very generous. I reach into my bag and I pull out 4 pounds of Radscorp meat. I think you overpaid. And then I give him the 4 pounds of Radscorp meat.
His jaw slacks a bit.
You would give this bounty to me?
It is what I believe to be fair. You gave me more than what I gave you was worth. In my mind.
I did.
So.
I see.
So I traded more in return.
I see.
Hunting comes naturally to me. It's easier to get meat than it is caps sometimes.
Makes me wonder what they're even for, if that's the case.
I wonder as well. But it seems to be tradable for other things. Useful things sometimes. And when a creature wants something, it's easier to give them what they want than to fight them sometimes. Easier to trade than to force, if that makes sense.
If only the world at large thought more like you. What do they call you?
I am the Apex. What do they call you?
Johann.
Where do you hail from, Johann?
He sort of looks over his shoulder, and he just sort of scans the horizon.
Unimportant.
Perhaps. But I am curious if there are others like you.
He tilts his head.
I have met one other of your kind. He was less eloquent, but also friendly.
His eyes light up, and he sort of moves a bit closer to you.
You have more like me? Tell me.
You mean Kirk?
Yes. He went by Kirk. He had a cow named Pepper.
Cow.
Brahmin.
Kirk. Where can I find this Kirk?
We found them. Do you have a map or a means of location?
He sort of like begins patting his person, and he ruffles through some of his belongings before looking at his hands and shaking his head.
No.
Apex kind of like pulls out a sheet of paper and sits kind of like crisscross applesauce on the floor, pulls out one of his charcoal writing devices, like writing implements, was like makeshift pens, and he starts kind of sketching out a crude map. Let's see. This is where we are. And then it just kind of like from memory. If you travel this way, you will see an airport with this tower. And then further in that direction, you will find a university called Maryville. To the
University. Airport.
Airport. Then you travel much further. You'd walk past a place called Westport, and then further than that would be Maryville. And then down the road from that, and I draw kind of like a line to the west, would be St. Luke's Hospital. You'll see this symbol. That's about where we found him, but that was some time ago. He may have traveled.
They wander around quite a bit, don't they?
I don't know. I don't know Kirk's habits.
I have never met one of my kind. Are you sure?
He may not be as friendly as you, though.
I can... We can be friends. Yes. I will find Kirk and Pepper, and they will be my friends. And then I won't have to be lonely anymore.
How long have you been alone, Johann?
He gets a very far away look in his eyes when you ask that.
Have you always been like you are now?
No.
Well, that's quite all right. I haven't always been the way I am now.
She looks up at him, and her eyes flicker to red for a second, almost as if to say hello.
You are different too.
He squints and looks at you and sort of almost shies away a little bit.
Wrong.
You are not. You are not like the others.
No. Not anymore, anyway.
You are. You are a person, a human, but you are a machine. You talk like a human, but you are a machine.
Right. I have a human mind in a machine body. There's actually 2 personalities in here, but one is mostly machine. Is that all right?
Yes, I think.
Apex is keeping a look at the surroundings. I'm guessing there are a number of guards or guard equivalents kind of gathering around this area at this point.
Yeah, as you sort of pull your attention away from this individual, you look around and people are sort of huddling away in their small shelters. People are sort of staying close to places where they can shut a door or a window or something. They're still looking, but you do see now, crusting over the hill comes Louise's sister Chris, a tall, skinny, wiry-looking man with long black hair, and Louise following. As well in tow, you see several guards who appear to be wearing sort of modified vault suits that are made for combat.
Apex will take up a position between the super mutant and them.
Oh, good. So can Louise see that happen?
Yeah, Louise, you crest over the hill and you get down into the town proper. Chris is sort of issuing instructions to the guards that are walking in sort of a brisk pace beside her. They're not like running, they're sort of marching almost down towards this whole situation. You see a ridiculously tall individual standing next to Cynthia and Apex sort of moves into the middle of the street and interposes himself between you and the very large individual.
I'm standing in front of him, but he still looks massive behind me, no matter how far ahead I walk from him.
How tall is he again?
Yep.
He's tall, and he's crouched down right now, but
yeah, around 8 feet tall. But as he sort of catches what you're doing, his eyes glance over to him, and he suddenly gets an alert look on his face, and he stands up to his full height, and he stashes the meat in a bag on his hip, and he closes it with a zip tie.
Sorry.
Oh, he has a fanny pack too.
Oh, it's cute. As soon as I see Apex make that move, I put out my arm. Chris, wait.
What?
Hold everyone up. Hold everyone up.
Oh, so you do know this guy?
No, I don't, but I know Apex. She just sort of...
Sorry.
She just sort of holds her hand out like, let me go by myself, okay?
What?
Hold up a second. I know what I'm doing.
I'm coming with you. I'm coming with you, okay?
All right, just a little behind me, would you?
Okay. Everyone stand by.
Louise will very gingerly approach, and she won't get too close before she just sort of calls out, "How's it going, Apex?"
Before you say anything, I look back to Johan. It's okay. They're friendly.
They don't look friendly. They've got guns.
They're concerned, but they aren't pointing them. I get nervous around them too. They hurt. And then I hear Louise. He was hungry.
All right.
Starving.
Looks to her sister. Don't pull your gun out, please. We're all right.
She grumbles, and she sort of she takes a small black band from her bag, and she begins to tie her hair back up into a loose ponytail just to get it out of her eyes. And she'll not putting a hand on her gun per se, but she'll put a hand on her hip as she begins to trot forward.
And Louise will sort of walk with her hands up a little bit, just in front of her. She'll just be like, "All right, so who do we got here?"
Now, Connor, while I've been having a friendly conversation and feeding this gentleman, I have been sizing him up. I didn't get a good look at the thing that marched out of the arena, but is this thing...
Not nearly as big.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not nearly as big. As
not
the thing
even
that I was
close.
tracking. Okay, good.
Yeah, the thing that you were tracking was
like a behemoth,
probably 20 feet tall.
Yeah. Okay. At least twice this thing's size.
Yes, at least twice.
Yeah, at least twice the size of Johan.
So, for Cynthia, who was kind of chatting with him as all these people are coming over the hill and everything, and he stands up.
Johan. People sometimes get uncomfortable when they see someone different.
I know.
Usually just because they don't know them. So, a kind gesture of getting to know someone is a handshake. Would you mind?
And she lifts her hand upward towards him as he's standing at his full height.
I've seen this handshake before. It means different things depending on the context.
This instance just means hello and nice to meet you.
So you're extending your hand towards him?
Yep.
He'll slowly reach out a hand, and Chris sort of visibly tenses up.
Easy, Chris, easy.
And he grabs your arm, Cynthia, and slowly, very gently, begins to shake you up and down. Even though he's not using his full strength here, he is, even though he's being very gentle, he's like pulling you up and down.
I imagine he's grabbing your hand with like his 3 fingers and his thumb.
Yeah, he's doing his best to apply a delicate touch, but just because due to the nature of what he is, he's not succeeding very well. And then he looks up.
Even in broad daylight, you can see Cynthia's eyes go pink, and she's kind of laughing like, "Whoa, whoa, well, hello."
Just like,
hello. It is nice to meet you.
It is nice to meet you too. She's like laughing, and any tension that could have existed is definitely broken at this point.
We are laughing.
Oh my god,
this is funny.
I say to Louise and Chris as they approach, his name is Johan. He was starving and lost.
Sort of watches. At first, is concerned about Cynthia, but when she sees her laughing, she's just like, Okay.
He's
Nods
also,
to. Good.
also seems very well-mannered and intelligent. More so than a lot of people I've come across.
You know, I actually don't dispute that. Okay.
So this isn't the super mutant that you know, but he's got people spooked.
Well, turns to Chris. I think we're okay here, Chris. Why don't you go tell your guys we're okay and try to calm people down? We can take care of this.
And she winces noticeably. Sorry.
As I walk over to like Louise, he's looking for others of his kind. We have business in the south, right? Maybe we can lead him to St. Luke's so he can try to find Kirk when we're on our way to the barracks.
Oh, right, Kirk. Looks to Johann. Gives a little wave. Hi, Louise. Yeah, I guess we could. If you don't mind us finishing up our business here first.
Cynthia looks up.
Would you like to travel with us for a bit, and we can help you try and find Kirk and Pepper?
You would have me?
Why wouldn't we?
I could show you how to hunt the things that I hunt.
Yeah, you seem all right. Looks at her hand. I don't know if I can do what you and Cynthia just did. I'm a little bit more fragile, but She offers her elbow. Elbow bump, Graydon?
Elbow bump. That
Yeah,
is new to me.
Well, just kind of raise your elbow up. Here, put it next to mine, right?
He sort of raises his arm up into the air, and everybody gets a little bit more tense again. But then he curls it into like a bicep curl.
Yeah.
And just you see the absolute like rippling nature of his muscles now. This is a being that is purpose built to be a not just a survivor, but to dominate this environment. And he slowly lowers his elbow bone towards yours.
Yep, just mine. And again, you're a bit tougher than I am, so just
This
real
is
gentle,
strange.
Yeah, a little bit. It's new. And just very gingerly just kind of taps elbows with him.
Hello.
And it immediately
It is nice to meet you.
Cynthia
elbow
starts
immediately
giggling
shatters.
again.
No. She's just like, yeah, nice to meet you too, Johann. Oh, you said you hungry? Oh, here, hang on. Pulls out her pack and grabs
The
out those
Apex
last.
gave me some food. I will
here.
eat that.
Gives him. Well, hang on. Reaches in and grabs those last 5 deviled eggs because I always forget I have them anyway.
Apex's eyes wide open.
The eggs.
Eggs. The eggs of wrath.
Sorry, hang on, Johann. She picks one out. She's like, "Here you go, Apex."
I sniff at it like a rat and then just take like both hands like
Johann,
dear rat boy.
Johann also sniffs at it.
They're a little, probably not as substantial as what you already got, but I always say it's nice to have a little variety. So here you go.
A little
I'm just kind of hunched over, gremlin eating.
It's positively minuscule in his hand, but he cups his mouth with it real quickly.
Not so much. Maybe they're an acquired taste.
strange. You eat these? You enjoy them?
And he looks over at you, Apex.
I'm just sitting there gnawing at it. I look up, kind of like tilt my body away and continue chewing.
Well, Apex maybe more than me, but I mean, my philosophy is more food is food in these wastelands, and well, I take what I can get. But hey, I kind of live in this town, so I'll be able to stock up again. So don't you worry about it.
Deviled eggs aged this much basically takes like farts and turpentine, but it's
You could strip paint.
Yep.
All we gotta do is just load Apex up with eggs and throw them into Vault 40.
Oh my god.
All the super mutants will be like, "Oh God!" and they just leave.
He looks out over the rest of the town, and then he slowly points.
Why do they fear me?
I finish my egg and I stand up and just kind of like brush the deviled egg powder out of my growing beard. They fear what they don't understand. And they fear those that are stronger than them.
They are...
It's not exactly fair sometimes, but well, this area, we also tend to get monsters. I mean, that's not the right word. We sometimes get biggins that are even bigger than you coming into town, and we have to make a beeline down into our hidey holes just to save our skin. So they're a little wary sometimes.
There is
Don't
no
hold it against
one
them.
that is bigger than me.
Well,
There might
actually,
Really? Even death claws?
Death Claw?
Looks to Apex and Cynthia.
I look up to him. Large creatures. They are. I hold up my claw, my death claw gauntlet. That came off just like a regular ass adult death claw. They stand between 8 and 12 feet when they're adults. Their claws and teeth are, well, they're bones, they're skeletons. They're denser than some alloys, even. Which means that when they strike at flesh, they may as well be ripping at mud. They are
Yeah.
fierce and deadly.
Yeah, I've taken a swipe from one of them myself. She pats her thigh. Nearly cost me my leg. So don't hold it against them if hopefully they're good people. They're just wary.
Not the death
shit.
claws, these people.
Yeah, right. Oh shit, by the by. She sort of holds up a finger and sort of trots a little closer to earshot within Chris's earshot if she can. Hey, Chris!
Uh-huh.
I left Alvin back in the library. You want to go get him? He probably should be in on this.
She nods and she'll lean into her walkie-talkie and she'll mutter something. I've got someone on it.
Thanks. Holds up a thumb. It's just like, we're good. And comes on back.
Alvin is
Okay.
another member of our group. I hold up a issue of the first issue of the Runaways.
What is this? Book.
It is it's a graphic novel.
Graphic
Apex drew it.
novel. You drew this?
Yes. Do you like it?
He'll like take it and he'll pull back the skin on his thumb and he'll just hook his thumb and his nail in between a page just to gently pull the page open.
Like on a fingerprint groove.
Yeah.
this is you.
This was how we met.
Autobiographical.
With... Yes.
Just Louise just sort of like, wow, wasn't it? It's like, yeah, that's it exactly, actually.
Now Apex is just kind of like wiggling back and forth as he's waiting for his review.
I see these names. You... The one you call Alvin, is this Captain Fix-It?
Yes. Originally it was Professor Fix-It, but Captain sounded better.
Professor?
He's good with machines and... You'll meet him. He'll be here soon.
And it'd be around this time, Alvin, that you're approached by one of the vault security guards. Mr. Alvin?
I have 4 books open, and I just look up from just like the schematic I'm drawing. Yeah.
You're wanted on the surface. If you would follow me, please.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they'd love to see this. I just hit a breakthrough. All right. Give me a second. There's that. That's it. Bend here. That. Save my place. All right. There you go. Here's your pencil back. All right.
You can hang on to it.
Oh,
follow me.
Thank you. Yeah, let's get going.
All right, and you
seem
follow
nervous.
him.
Everything going all right?
He doesn't really speak much further as he leads you up the rope ladder, and you come out and you see the scene I described before. Just this towering individual now looking at a really small book in his hands. It seems,
and the Apex staring at him expectantly.
It seems like there is a somewhat tense but slowly de-escalating situation that is occurring right now.
Howdy.
Oh, hey, Hershon. Come meet our new friend.
Oh, no trouble. Hey, how y'all doing?
You are the one known as Alvin, who is also known as Captain Fix-It, who is also known as Earthshine.
Only Louise calls him that.
It is a pet name.
Yeah,
Pet.
They're dating.
Dating.
poor Louise is just making these small little sounds, just like
What is their date?
Alvin scratches the back of his head.
When two people love each other very much.
Covers her mouth. Cynthia, you nut, you.
What is love?
See, I don't really understand it that much either. I know familial love. I don't understand the other one.
They
What
like
is
spending
love?
time together.
Yeah, look,
We'll make a good team. She finds stuff, I fix it.
yeah, don't getting all complicated.
Anyway, yeah, I'm Captain Fix-It, also known as Earthshine, also known as Alvin Bronson. I'm part of the St. Louis Machinists.
Son. Machinists.
That's right. I'll pull out my hand as a howdy-do gesture. Pleased to meet y'all.
You work with machines, do you?
Yes, I do. I fixed up a lot of things in my I fixed up a lot of things in my tenure. How about yourself? You like machines?
What do I like?
Yeah.
I like being given food. I like
Apex nods.
not being shot at.
Well, don't we all?
Apex has found a kindred spirit.
I like this book.
Apex smiles.
Cynthia's eyes go pink and she looks at him like, "Aw."
Bond level is now A.
I like being the strongest.
Glances at Apex.
Apex squints.
What
Cynthia's eyes go back to normal. Uh-oh.
What else do I like?
Well, it sounds like you'd like to find our friend Kirk, is it?
I would like that, yes. I like super mutants.
All right.
You actually sound like Kirk when you talk like that. Just a little.
Ooh, exciting.
He is
He's very
very
passionate.
excitable.
I guess what we're trying to do, Alvin, is I guess once we're done here, we maybe go take our new friend here down where we saw Kirk last.
I
Oh,
figured
that's
it
no
was
trouble.
relatively on our way to the south.
That makes perfect sense, actually.
Wanted to head there.
Only trouble is... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Alvin.
Louise.
Hmm?
Is there a diner or something? I feel like that might make the townspeople feel a little more at ease if maybe we take Johan to get a bite to eat.
Will he
Let me she like looks at Chris looks at the situation, looks at the door to the what did I call it? The shelter saloon.
Or we can get some takeout.
Or we could just sit outside.
I still have a broken shoulder
No,
that I
stay.
need fixed.
Oh,
That's-
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
takes Alvin aside. It's like, that's the one problem we've got here. Unfortunately, the townspeople are a tiny bit squirrely. And we're not quite done here yet, so I'm not sure. Oh, I wonder-
Trust me, I'm used to the failing.
I could take Johan to go hunt.
It's at this point that Louise, the man you know as Overseer Kaufman, begins to stride forward to the situation. He's a little bit hesitant, but he's nonetheless making a pace.
Hello. Greetings to you all. I am terribly sorry for not introducing myself earlier. I am Overseer Jack Kaufman. I am the elected leader of the Vault Town and overseer of Vault 66.
Oh, Mr. Kaufman. She goes to come back to the
Oh,
conversation
Louise,
and-
you can call me Jack.
She goes to come back to the conversation, then she stops. She thinks about what Alvin just said last, and then she makes a decision and she sort of reaches down, pulls his head down, and bumps their foreheads together and says, "Be nice to yourself, okay?"
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. This is Johan, sir.
Ah, Johan. He gives like a politician smile.
Oh dear.
I
One
know
of
the
those.
feeling.
Oh no.
It is a
I-
astounding pleasure to meet you. And Johan looks down and sort of crouches down to the ground.
You don't seem pleased with me.
Well, that's simply because I hardly know you. But
Curves around Johan and just flashes the overseer thumbs up, like.
yeah, your takes when no one is acting a little weird right now, Louise. Jack elaborates. You seem to be the well-traveled sort. And he looks down at his bag on his waist. I don't see why your caps wouldn't be just as good here as they would be anywhere else. So I say, as long as nothing here gets broken, welcome to Vault Town. And he sort of lets a pregnant pause hang in the air as if he's waiting for applause.
Apex has been scanning this man since he walked over as well.
So is Cynthia like, really? You couldn't have tried that much harder?
You were chosen to lead these people.
Elected, yes. Although I was assigned overseer from the previous overseer. But I was elected as mayor of Vault Town. I think that counts for something. As though I would have the trust of my townsfolk and of my citizens. Yes.
When he says that, Cynthia looks around to see if anyone looks as though he has the trust of his townsfolk and citizens.
Chris, notably, just has like a very flat look on her face, like, oh, fuck, here we go.
Louise, Louise, knowing this guy, would just be like, have this expression of like, well, he tries.
You would notice a couple people that are sort of like beginning to move out of their safety spaces are like, but Kaufman, he's you know, and he's like, settle down. He's not doing any harm to us, and he looks like he's choosing his words very carefully here.
He's been very kind. Cordial.
Yes.
And
kind, cordial, shaking hands, doing business, and he makes a very pointed emphasis on that part.
And guess what, Jack? He was actually just saying how he'd be real grateful for a meal, which obviously he can pay for.
Grateful for a meal? Well, Mrs. Summers, I think you have just found yourself your next customer. Don't you agree? And you see this sort of very attractive middle-aged woman with strawberry blonde hair sort of peek her head out of the window of the saloon. Well, I mean,
leans in her eyesight and flashes another thumbs up.
Well, if his caps are good, then I'm not complaining, I guess.
We just might need to arrange for a little outdoor seating.
Right, I can bring whatever you need out.
Jack.
Sounds like things are settled.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Jack, we were kind of planning to stick around just a tiny bit more until our business was finished. And we were gonna take our friend Johan here down on a trip to go find a friend of ours. Is there a place that he could stay while we do that?
He strokes his chin a little bit. He looks over his size and he looks over at the vault door.
What about the fort out back by the river?
Well, he would be sleeping out in the open. I mean, if that's, I'm sure it would be no problem to someone like you to sleep out in the open, but if that's sort of what you want.
goes in his eye line and sort of makes a gesture, like, watch your words.
Could see if you can fit down the elevator shaft. There's plenty of room in the vault. And Chris is like, huh?
Well, I mean, I guess
And
depending on
he sort of like waves your sister off a bit. Just let me.
It's a singular
Cynthia will look up at Johan and until he notices her gaze.
Where would you like to stay while we're in town? Do you want to be outside, or would you like to stay inside, or...
Not inside. I prefer outside. Not inside.
Okay, no worries. Outside
right.
is fine. So that fort you were talking about, would that work? Oh, you all right, Johan?
Yes.
I can stay there with him. I like the outside as well.
All right, sounds like we
Oh,
got a plan
perfect.
there.
Yeah, and I bet Jack, she looks at him pointedly, could get some blankets and some pillows for him.
His mouth sort of slacks, and he looks like he's thinking. Yes. I'm sure we can.
Firewood.
Fire.
Wood for fire.
Yes. I mean, we've got plenty of wood in our surroundings.
All right, that sounds like we've got it settled.
Yes, as long as you are all together and everything is in order. And he's like looking at you pointedly like, can you handle this?
Yep. Sounds like he and Apex will bunk up together, and but first we'll get him some chow. So yeah.
Alvin shoots Jack his smile and a thumbs up.
Well, seeing as how all of this is settled, I say we all go about our business once again, citizens of Vault Town. Thank you.
Cynthia golf claps for him out of pity.
Single clap.
I'm going to go get my shoulder fixed. Apex starts walking towards the infirmary.
All right.
Louise just sort of like, okay.
Ladies, you won't find out. You're gonna go ahead and flip your lids and figure it out when you see what I found out. I'm excited. I'm mixing my words.
We get Johan all situated with the saloon food, and you tell us over his dinner.
Sounds
Or
well made.
lunch.
All right.
Apex, are you
Yes.
going to be okay to find the... Oh, he's going.
Oh, knowing Apex,
I'm
he'll find
just
us out.
walking around looking at places, looking for anything with like a cross on it or
Louise,
something
could
that
you
says
please help him?
something that says
Huey.
Eileen's or Ideens or Irene's.
Everything except her actual name. Absolutely.
It starts. It's an I word, maybe spelled with an E. Unclear.
Johan
Yeah,
sort of
no, I'll,
looks up, and after Apex,
He will be all right on his own.
Louise is
I'll
gonna go with him.
don't worry about it. Yeah, Cynthia, don't worry about it. I'll just then as she's going,
I think he was saying that as a matter of fact.
as she goes, she glances back at Alvin. She's just like, we'll talk later, Sean. Okay?
All righty.
I
Y'all have
bet
yourself a
you
good
will.
time now.
Yeah. And she trots off after Apex. No, Apex, no, that leaves out. Don't go that way.
Johan will lean down, and he'll pick up something that he had set behind him. He hefts. Oh God, what is it even called? Is it a? Is it a dumbbell?
What?
Oh.
Barbell.
A barbell.
God.
Size of something that he would be wielding.
Absolutely, yes. He hefts a barbell complete with weights, all stacked on one end of the barbell. That's probably, just from a cursory glance, must be over 100 pounds on one side of the barbell that he looks to be hefting quite easily. And there's a little
25.
There's a little bindle that's also tied to the end of the barbell as well.
Oh, he's got a little bindle like Apex had.
He does have a little,
It's so good.
a little horrible bloody bindle.
It's like a big Apex.
Yeah.
It's like that thing's also probably crushing skulls, isn't it?
Absolutely it is.
Oh yeah. There's so
I
much
am
brain matter
excited
in there.
to meet more of my kind.
I'm excited for you to meet more of them, too.
Absolutely.
Though you all are exciting to meet as well. Better than the others I've met.
Oh,
Shucks. Well, that's quite the compliment. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry to hear that things have been rough up to now.
Rough is not the word. Saddening, I think. If the ones before were more like you, they would be alive.
I can understand how that probably went down.
Mm-hmm. We've all ran into our own share of skirmishes out there too.
And
I'm glad you're still in one piece and you got your health, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But I'm sorry you've had your trust betrayed in the past, it sounds like.
He gets an incredibly sad look on his face.
Yes. Me too.
Sad Hulk theme plays. I'm glad we all know
Well,
it.
for now, you can trust that you're going to have a good meal and get a good night's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Sleep. One more thing I like.
And he gets a little excited and he drops his dumbbell again.
she smiles.
I like to dream.
To dream.
What
He
you
gets
like
like
about?
he gets like a big, like, toothy grin where his like gums are showing even.
Even his gums have muscles.
I dream there are more than me. I dream there is civilization of people like me. Like you all have. I want that dream to be true someday. But I haven't met any of my kind. No super mutants. You all will take me to see my first one.
And I hope
Absolutely.
it lives up to be everything you want it to be.
I hope so too. I like hope.
I like hope too.
And food. Food. Now.
Let's go get you plenty.
Absolutely.
And he picks up his spindle and he waits patiently for his food to come to him, as it sounds like to him. And Apex, you do eventually find a small oh god, what's it even called? It's a shack that's made out of like part wood and part sheet metal. Yeah, like a lean-to. Bigger than that. It looks like a small business front.
Like a kiosk.
Yeah, pretty much. And you see a woman who's looks to be closing in on 40, who is sort of just leaning over her counter and eyeing the scene that's playing out in the middle of the road.
All of a sudden, I apparate before her.
Oh.
There he is. Hey.
You would see Louise, the town's doctor that you would know to be Isla Winters.
I step in front. You have an I name.
Yes.
How do you know that? Oh, never mind.
She takes a glance over at you. Isla, you can just call me Dr. Winters, though. That's fine.
Taps his head. Isla. Oh.
Dr. Winters is fine, too, yes.
Doctor, I have this. I set down that large bag of pristine medical supplies that I've been carrying around for a very long while.
She takes a quick glance over it, and her expression sort of like, you know that Japanese man in the car who's got a peaceful expression and then
Yeah.
I know exactly.
she does a little bit of that. Oh.
Ah, shit! I forgot you got that Apex. That'd be pretty handy, wouldn't it, Isla?
Yes. It. Are you selling me this?
Yes. Also trading, because I also have a injured shoulder. I think there might be a bullet in it. Or maybe it's fractured. I'm unclear.
Apex, buddy.
I've been shot a few times.
We can take care of the business aspect for now. I don't want you wandering around with a bullet in your shoulder for much longer. I will just set these over here, and if you want to come with me, I can get you patched up. And Louise, he'll be fine. I'll bring him back to you.
Oh, I'm not worried about him. He's a tough boy. Apex, you want me to just hang out here, or I can come in and sit for a spell? I don't mind chatting with Isla. It's been ages.
It's up to you. I don't want to keep you from anything.
Glances over. I think at the moment they're just chatting it up with our new friends, so let's go in and get you fixed up.
Just make business quicker. How much would she give me for the medical supplies? Bindle of
they are pristine
stuff.
They are pristine medical supplies, which is hard to come by. She takes a little bit of that as payment for her services here, which will cover the entire cost of it.
I'll go ahead and put myself back to full health then. Haha, take that, bear.
I'm really confused when you said I think I got shot. I'm like, when did the bear shoot you?
Well, the thing is, I've been shot.
It's got a gun,
and not every bullet has been removed from me.
I was just like picturing the bear just like raising a pistol and firing.
It's like the Hellboy. Is that a Yao Guai? He's got a gun!
Oh god.
just spraying the freaking submachine gun.
That bear's got a gat.
He's a Gatly bear.
Look, it has the right to bear arms.
Ah.
And we have the right to armed bears.
Your vision of a fixed wasteland is so different from everyone else planning.
I'm just saying the forefathers got it wrong. It's the right to arm bears. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Thank you. I'll be here all the rest of this session.
Which isn't too much longer. I'm just calculating for you. With the combined cost and just deducting from what she would usually charge to reset your shoulder and get you back to full health, she would probably take the supplies, heal you up, and give you, give or take... Ow. Got my dice tray caught in my beard.
It's an impressive dice tray.
Wow.
It's an impressive beard.
That, good Lord.
She gives you... She heals you to full, and she gives you 49 caps as well.
Good deal.
I like that.
Thank you, Doctor.
Of course. I can't believe you were walking around with that and not even wincing. Well, I can't tell, but...
Louise just sort of shakes it like you.
You know what? The second it left my mouth... Anyway.
It felt like my bones were itching. And now they don't itch anymore.
Oh, God. To be fair,
You have...
Sorry, go ahead.
You have a... what I would medically describe as a startlingly high pain tolerance. Or you're high. I don't judge.
To be fair, how many times you patch me and Barry up?
Oh.
Fucking idiots back then.
Some would say you still are, but...
Hey!
It's good for business. Well, if there's nothing else, you should be free to go. Just, I have to tell you, try not to get into any scraps, even though I know you probably will.
Looks away.
I will not lose. And I start walking away.
Right.
Not what she said, Apex, but
Is that like his version of should you see the other guy or I don't know.
with Apex, it's hard.
That didn't happen in town, did it?
Oh, no. Something to do with the bear. She just nods to Isla.
A Yaogwai.
Yeah. He owns a zoo now.
Should I see the other guy?
If you
The
can
other
find
guy
him.
was a Yaogwai.
A Yaogwai.
No, yeah.
Yaogwai.
Oh, God. Isla, it was great to see you.
Good to see you too, Louise.
Yeah.
She sort of leans out. Who's that? And stomping around the corner to a bit of more of an open space in Vault Town is Johan and the rest of your group. And Johan sort of sits down with a thud that rocks the town's buildings slightly.
Well, that is apparently our new friend, Johan. And next to him is Cynthia and Alvin.
You pick up the strangest people.
But much better company these days, I'd say.
Well, far be it from me to keep you from him.
All right. Have a good night.
Good night.
And I'll just trot out after Apex.
You trot out.
Actually, let's raise a question. What time is it?
It's getting... The sun was setting at the start of all of this, and it's gone further into the evening now.
Gotcha.
You've got a couple hours of sunlight left at this point. And the evening is spent with your new friend Johan, and let me go ahead and get the Barren Wastes out of here because it's a much more tense but pleasant. There you go. As the bustle slowly begins to pick back up, and the sort of string of bulb lights around the town begin to light up for the night, and the streets are somewhat illuminated now. And dinner and drinks are brought out courtesy of one Katrina Summers. You would know Louise, the owner of the Shelter Saloon.
Thank you kindly, Katrina.
Thank you.
What sort of a spread we looking at?
You see all sorts of different things. You see cooked carrots. You see some squirrel bits. You see mole rat steaks. It's just a what most of you would identify as somewhat above average bar fare.
I'm guessing they just kind of serve this family style. Just
Yeah, pretty much.
Brought out a bunch of everything.
Hell, I missed your steaks.
Yeah, well, we've missed you.
Just gives her this look like, oh, shut the hell up.
Enjoy. If you need anything, let me know.
Will do.
This smells good.
Apex starts going to town on the food.
Smells different than raw.
Definitely adds something to it, doesn't it?
Mm.
And it's
Easier.
Katarina, you said?
Yeah, Katrina Summers.
And Katrina rarely disappoints when it comes to her cooking. As you know, I grew up on it.
When it's cooked, it makes it easier for our kind to digest.
I see.
Oh, this is real good too. Mm. Oh my god, the steaks are so good. Oh my god, it's so good.
Quickly nails one for herself before like Apex and Johan go to town.
He like picks up like a little bundle of he like picks up the tray actually that it comes out on. It's like a school lunch tray a little bit until like just sort of begin tilting it into his mouth, not even bothering with silverware, just
Just like me for real.
This tastes good. I think I like it. I like this food. I like being here.
And we like having you here.
and you all enjoy a wonderful meal with your new pal, Johan. Johan has joined the party.
Yay!
Woo!
And with that, that will be the end of this week's session.
That's the best.
I cannot wait for my
it's so
slumber
good.
party with Johan.
Me
Super
neither.
Mutant joined her
God.
team.
Oh. Bye,
Roll
Austin.
for random encounters. They reconsider.
Bye, Austin.
Bye, Austin.
We
Don't
have
do it,
so
Caitlin.
Oh,
We have so much in common. We both want to. We both like food and sleep, and we both want to be the strongest.
It really is. He just like me for real.
oh my god.
Just like
It is going to be tragic if we become best friends and we have to fight to the death over the conflict between super mutants. and humans.
Oh no, I don't want to think about that. It's like no.
I love narrative stakes like that,
I don't know.
but it's sad.
I'm thinking this is kind of great. Like, he might be he might be great to help us with things in a way that he would be happy with, and it would be mutually beneficial for everyone.
That's also a possibility. But if he just decides to go whole hog, no, I'm with them, then it's a problem.
That does make sense.
Or you could become.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm just glad he's your friend. Oh, Vault 40's gonna suck now. Like, damn.
Well, the thing is, we introduce him to Kirk. We don't necessarily take him to Vault 40. If he
That's
somehow
true.
hears about Vault 40 on the way, then it's going to be a weird conversation. But
That will be weird. But regardless, thank you all for watching me tear my fucking throat up again.
Oh yeah, thanks,
you know
Connor.
what? At least you didn't make him. I like this all the time. I like sleep.
Oh my god.
I like liking things.
Oh boy.
Do you know what I would pay to have someone in a super mutant voice read Goodnight Moon?
Oh my god.
Good night, moon! Good night, stars!
Better yet, just have it like Shatner sing lullabies. Like,
Black sheep! Have you any wool? I like that not even your microphone can contain you.
The cow jumped over the moon.
My god.
Oh god, when these two meet, that's gonna be so tough on you.
It's gonna be the best. They're both gonna
Johan-
be so like too much, and it's gonna be awesome.
Johan liked Apex's comic, so Johan is already a good bean in Apex's mind.
That was not what I was expecting when that guy popped up. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Oh boy.
I was like, we're not ready for a pulsar or a courser. Oh, it's not a courser. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, we're fine.
Coursers are meant to be good at infiltration. If it showed up and was immediately the center of attention, it would really suck at its job.
It still would pound us though.
Well, yeah, not until, the Apex throws the Courser into the rings of Saturn.
You gave
the
us
strongest
too much
move in
to talk
wrestling.
about, Connor. We can't stop.
We're very excited. This is a very
We
fun
are.
show.
He hits the courser
Yeah.
with the most powerful move in wrestling, the drop toe hold.
Look, all we need is for, like, we need to learn the fastball special. Like, Apex just needs to be thrown by this guy.
I just have the fear of us just being like, we got a super mutant now. We can take this courser. Courser just fucking gut checks him, and we're all screaming, "Super mutants down! Super mutants down!"
Oh my god.
Yeah, he just, like, snaps his back like Goku holding up Nappa.
Gives him the old Thanos Ant-Man treatment.
Jesus.
Man. Man.
Da, 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 da. Well, everybody,
Oh.
thank you so much for stopping by tonight's episode of Gateway. Let's go around the horn and de-introduce ourselves, starting with Caitlin. Where can they find you, and what are you up to?
Hello, I'm Caitlin Elizabeth. You can find me all over the internet at twitch.tv/boobsmcbalrog with zeros instead of O's. I stream sometimes, definitely on Friday. Shark Squad, Sea of Thieves, Power Wash Simulator with Julia. I should have some interesting things to talk about next week.
Ooh.
But there's also twitch.tv/LandyPator on Monday
Hi.
at 3 p.m. PST. We have The Ties That Bind, where I play Nara, the Shadow Sorceress Drow, alongside Connor and Shadow Dancer Bob and Takahata 101. That's coming up. That's it for me.
Right on. We got, hey, Mr. Rabbit, where can they find you? What are you up to?
Hi! Hey, how you doing? My name's Rabbit. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at Hey Mr. Rabbit. I'm a variety streamer. I stream throughout the week. You can also catch me in various things, but for my show, I do RPGs, retro games, horror games, and pretty much anything else under the sun, really. I play games like Resident Evil 4 with Sarah on Thursday. Hi, Sarah. I also play Trails and Falcom games on Friday with my buddy Midnight. I play just anything under the sun on Tuesday. And for Monday, I play RuneScape. I like RuneScape and old school RuneScape. RuneScape's fun. RuneScape's a fun time. So if you just want to go ahead and just have some yucks and just listen to Old Man Rabbit tell his dum-dum stories, come on down to twitch.tv/Hey Mr. Rabbit. And I'll do my best to entertain you.
And that's me.
Right on. Lanny, where can they find you, and what are you up to?
Find me all over the internet at Lanny Pator. Here it's twitch.tv/Lanny Pator. Just finished playing Jedi Fallen Order again because I'm getting excited for Jedi Survivor, which comes out in about 12 days. I'm not sure what I'm gonna be playing next, but I'm gonna find something to play tomorrow, or maybe we'll just chat and hang out. I don't know. It's a good time to be had. Probably starting around 7 o'clock Central Time over here, depending on what time I wrap all the stuff I gotta do tomorrow. But as Caitlin mentioned, on Monday, 5 o'clock Central Time, you can join us for the Ties That Bind, where Nara the Drow Sorceress, Wolfgang the Angelic Warlock, Denir the Catman Wizard, and Asmo the Sneckman Fighter have to deal with the trials and tribulations of running a city in times of political turmoil. So tune in for Reclamation Day, Monday at 5 o'clock Central Time. That's me.
I was going to say, economically, we're doing quite well, actually.
Economically, you're doing very well. So well that you're basically your own standalone nation if you wanted to be.
Whoops. Did I do that?
Really puts you at the center of a quagmire, huh?
Quagmire, that guy from American Dad?
Yes. The one
Fantastic.
And the same. You know, googly goo.
That's right. Google Bing. That's his phrase.
I hated it then when they replaced him with not Quagmire.
What they name him? Swamp?
Just...
all right, that was a joke for Rabbit. That's
Sarah, where can they find you? What are you up to?
It makes sense, but man. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube at Sarah with an H and with an E Willia. Yeah. No shilling. Check back next week. Well, I mean, I've got that convention and that Hazard Con, Pennsylvania Con in next month, 12th through the 14th. Huzzah!
And as for me, they can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.com/DistortionDevil. I stream Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Tomorrow we're going to be playing some more Deus Ex. Indeed. Oh, you know what? I remembered where we were. Some scientist dude's daughter just got kidnapped by like one of the most powerful people in the world. Yeah, we're staging a rescue op, and JC Denton, he's gonna get in there. He's gonna try to rescue the daughter, and his vision is augmented. So he'll do his darndest.
What a shame.
What a shame.
I don't like your tone.
I like to pick my nose. Get the hell out of here, Denton.
Stop picking your nose in front of the vending machine, Denton.
Oh, and stay out of the women's restroom.
Huh.
No.
So much for the tolerant left.
Oh my god. This episode is brought to you in part by Die Hard Dice.
Die Hard Dice?
That's right. Die Hard Dice is your one-stop shop for dice and dice accessories. And if you head on over to dieharddice.com, you can use the code UNEXPECTABLES to save 10% on your order, where you can pick up the official Unexpectables dice.
Official!
That's right.
You too can have your very own Greckling dice.
It's true. Now you can Greckle with the Lies Aspect dice, the official dice collaboration with Die Hard Dice and the Unexpectables. They're beautiful porcelain white and a lovely navy blue in the inking. Some people call them plain. Well, I call the people who call them plain themselves.
Got it.
As well, check out our store. We've got merchandise featuring logos brought to us by our lovely artist, Citric King, including the Sweet Dragon logo, the Avon's Cup logo, and our newest design. I went to Easton Vale, and all I did was die. Indeed. I believe that's everything. We got some business subs to read off. Business subs. Let's see. Alucard True V, thank you for the 34 months. Protoss 103, thank you for the 5 bits. The Runaways, yeah, I heard of you. I have a few comics someone sold me.
Oh my gosh.
How much did you buy them for?
I
want a price point.
He just snaps over to Alvin. There's a market now.
I'm gonna make a mint.
Get this. Artificial scarcity.
Zenlita, thank you for the 100 bits. Extruder food comes in every flavor except good. Tyrant Chaos, thank you for the 37 months. Angel's Adventure Market, thank you for the 100 bits. Been here since the start, and I've watched as many of the VODs as I can at work. You guys do really great work. Please keep it up. Oh, don't worry. We're not going to stop anytime soon.
No.
Nope. A million years, Gateway.
Zenlita, thank you for the 100 bits. You are now friends with the Apex. The Apex will now die for you. No. Mr. Insecure, thank you for the 37 months. Johan is doing his best. The Winged One, thank you for the 37 months. And DRK Ganon, thank you for the 35 months of Prime. I'm going to feel so bad when Johan learns what the rest of his kind are like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
He might
worried.
be into it once he learns about them.
Maybe.
Unless we can teach him the civilized ways are best. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the super mutants in Vault 40 are actually like led by intelligent ones that only use the angry ones as pawns.
Maybe.
We don't know what
find
their
out.
situation is.
They're all wearing top hats and mustaches and monocles.
Indeed.
Yes, quite!
Forsooth! The rebels are at the gates! To arms!
I
To
think
arms!
capitalism versus socialism. Go. They're having just really in-depth conversations while screaming at each other.
Their leader has 2 monocles. It's just over each eye.
They're writing books on like the nature of like humanity and its downfall.
Our leader wears 2 monocles!
Wow.
He's the fanciest.
What would
You
My
mean
God,
glasses?
Yes!
No!
Oh.
Yes!
Oh my God, I didn't even think about what that meant. Oh wow.
What would that book even be titled? What Not to Do This Time? By Ugg.
Well, with that, thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. For another successful broadcast of Gateway.
Gateway, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. We will see you, again this Wednesday. We are not having an episode of Unexpectables, this week. However, in lieu of that, because Zito is currently in the process of moving, we will be doing something that we haven't really done on this channel before. We're gonna be doing something that isn't an RPG. We'll be playing a different kind of tabletop game. As we'll be passing the time with some Dungeons and Dragons Trivial Pursuit.
Oh, interesting.
How old is the edition? I gotta ask.
Right?
It shouldn't be terribly old. When did it come out? Is this going to tell me when it came out? I don't think so. Shit. The answer is I don't know. But it's... it should be 5th edition compatible, I think. I'm not exactly sure. But yes, we will be playing that this Wednesday, and it's sure to be a barrel of laughs. But, yeah. And we'll be back here, of course, same time, with more Gateway. Barring unforeseen circumstances, of course. Zeus tried to end the stream a couple times earlier today.
He was angry.
But yes, thank you so much for stopping by, everybody. Ooh. And I've just received a recommendation for who we're gonna raid.
Who we gonna raid?
You're gonna raid Miley Yamamoto.
Melee.
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 I think I got that right. Yep. All right, there we go, everybody. What should our raid message be?
I like to dream.
I
I like to dream.
I like to dream.
I like to dream. That's our raid message, chat. Take care, everybody. We'll see you this Wednesday and then next week for more Gateway. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.
Take care now. Bye-bye.
Good
then, as the
night.
Mad TV lady used to say.
And don't forget to
Bye-bye.
like what you like.
Mm-hmm.